Space Lab operations. 7 days, 6 hours, 19 minutes mission elapsed time. A loss of signal with Space Lab through the Guam ground tracking station. Anticipating reacquisition of signal in just under 13 minutes through the tracking and data relay satellite system. During that pass, we received a report on Byron Lichtenberg's progress with Mike Haynes' improvised experiment. Lichtenberg reported that he was able to get a syringe full of fluid and get the air bubbles out of the syringe. Among the activities scheduled when we reacquire signal is some life sciences experiments with another segment of experiment 102, this being the nystagmus dumping experiment. We should reacquire in just under 12 minutes. This is Marshall Space Lab operations. This is Marshall Space Lab operations, 7 days, 6 hours, 31 minutes mission elapsed time. Standing by now in just under a minute and a half for reacquisition of signal through the tracking and data relay satellite. We're anticipating both S-band communications as well as high-rate data through the KU band. And during this pass, the crew is scheduled to be doing some life sciences operations with experiment 102, the nystagmus dumping portion of that experiment. Presently, the orbiter at the apex of its 118th orbit of the Earth. And Space Lab, this is Marshall Ops. We have you for about 49 minutes through S-band.
Yeah, fine. Byron is working on FTM still, and I'm just made the silicon rod exchange and about to get that thing started.
Okay, Owen, we copy. We also have O2 enabled. If you have some questions for them, Owen. And then also Chuck Ullman is enabled on the 102.
Hey, if we could delay just a little bit on getting started with the CPAC here, it may not take too long to get the MHS started again.
Roger, we copy. Just keep ignoring these RAL skip messages.
But hey, the MHF has been resumed, and I'm ready to talk with the CPAC PI.
Go ahead, this is CPAC.
Any suggestions on what was wrong with the DEP not ready?
We're showing DEP ready yes and experiment ops on at the present time. You have it running, Owen?
Bye.
Very good.
Negative. I never rolled the CPAC task out, and I'm still showing DEP ready no.
We're showing DEP ready yes down here. And Space Lab, we have live TV in the orbiter bay, and we'll be looking at you in just a moment. And Space Lab CPAC, would you go to Chargers Enable?
Bill and Franco, camera 1 set up if you guys want to turn that one on.
Okay, we copy. Camera 1 is set up.
You guys need to see the setup for the fluid physics module. This is great. In fact, I still don't show any DEP ready.
Okay. Okay, Owen, we copy that you don't have DEP ready on 02. And Space Lab, this is CPAC. Could we have chargers enabled, please?
No, when you asked a moment ago, I immediately enabled charges and no change on my display.
It's the same down here. Okay, we're interested in doing IU DEP on occasionally so that we can get our temperatures and battery voltages in the HRM data stream.
Okay, the IU DEP is on and charges are enabled at this time.
Roger. And this is Marshall Space Lab Operations. We've been receiving some downlink television from the spacecraft.
How much I can take out for Mike Haynes?
Mike Haynes, I'm not sure if I'm enabled.
Yeah, you got through, Mike. We've got you set up here, and we've been able to go through the hysteresis loop about 3 to 4 times. So I think 2 good ones in here. The camera ran pretty much steadily at 2 frames per second. And what you'll have to do is probably use the where the plunger is screwed into where the threads on the plunger is screwed in. That's probably your best mark because the edge of the piston is not visible. And we got several good runs where it took up to about 2 minutes for the lens to break or to form. Over.
Oh, that sounds absolutely great, Brian. Thanks a million. And incidentally, your artificial gravity has created some interest down here too. Space Lab, this is Marshall Ops.
Okay.
Marshall Ops for Byron. We have some good news. Evidently, your 321 sample setup is working great. You can expect to have to give your next resume at about 7 hours. We're also getting live TV from Space Lab's module, and it's looking just terrific. We see floating around in there. And if you can give the MHF its next resume at about 7 hours, you'll be go for your first silicon rod melts at about 8 hours.
Okay, we copy, Mike. And if you guys can see, here's the setup for Mike Haynes. The portable photo floodlight. And we've got Mike's apparatus set up here on a couple of clamps. And the 16mm camera above it with the eyepiece. So we've got a very nice viewing setup. And all I do is first go in and take a look at the scene. And then come down here and very carefully adjust the fluid by width of a fingernail or so.
We got a beautiful picture of you, Byron. I just wish I was there with you.
We wish you were up here too, Mike. We just hope, I think you might have some good data here.
Splendid.
Jack, are you satisfied with this data, or do you want to try and something with the application test?
Receiving downlink television from inside the habitable module of Byron Lichtenberg, working with the... And ignore that 19 error message, Space Lab. Working with Mike Haynes' experiment. That something of an improvisation that was put together here in the payload control center. And Space Lab, this is Marshall Ops. We're zooming in on you guys. We're getting a real good look. Yeah, thanks, Byron. Getting a real good look at Mike Haynes' setup.
Sounds good, and for Mike's future reference, this is film magazine number 72. Okay, it's an interior ASA 400 film.
I'll read film magazine number 72.
Right, and that's the one you're going to want to get once we get back to Houston.
I'll be right there for it. And CPAC for Space Lab, we're ready to do a turn off now. We'd like IU DEP off and chargers inhibit. Thank you very much, Owen.
Get to the application test now.
And Owen, we'd also like to have you remove the ECAST on CPAC. Owen Gary, just finishing some CPAC housekeeping data gathering, primarily to look at the temperatures of the CPAC instruments on the pallet. And Owen, one question from the 01 PI. Did you photograph the shuttle glow last night?
That's affirmative.
Okay, we thank you. process of dismantling the experiment developed by Dr. Haynes. Following the completion of that experiment activity. Space Lab, this is Marshall Ops. Although you people already have a flashing ops lamp for the MHF, we don't want you to give that resume until about 7 o'clock, nor we don't bring up the heat too early on that furnace. So if you hold off till about 7, that'll center things nicely for the following AOS pass, and we'll have Dr. Iyer here.
Okay.
Byron Lichtenberg restowing some of the fluid physics hardware in one of the stowage drawers. Space Lab, Byron, that's a great picture, but my heart stopped when I saw you leave my balls floating in midair.
You told me I kind of shrugged. I didn't know what to do with them. I had both hands full, so I thought I'd just leave them right there.
They behaved very well.
Okay, just a question on how this gets stowed. I think I understand.
Oh, and Gary beginning to set up for the 102 experiment. He has the body restraint system that he's beginning to unstow. That is similar to a legless chair in which the subject sits. That chair or body restraint system actually a part of the European vestibular experiment equipment. However, it's shared here with the NASA sponsor.
And Mike, we couldn't have done it without our blood workup kit here. We had to use a syringe and a needle to get the fluid out of the FTM reservoir and then transfer it into your syringe.
I think you've performed miracles of ingenuity. Congratulations, both. Thanks a million. During the experiment that Gary is setting up for this time, one crew member will sit in the body restraint system. And Space Lab, this is Marshall Ops for Byron. Anytime between now and the 7 o'clock resume of the MHF, your go to press the pump 1 interrupt button in order to cut in the second pump. We're going to do this MHF run with both water pumps running. And that subject, thank you, Byron, is outfitted with a series of electrodes around his eyes. That data will provide information on eye movement as the chair is rotated 360 degrees. On Earth, there is a tendency as an individual is rotated, even with his eyes closed, for the eyes to attempt to adjust to that rotation by attempting to track in the opposite direction. If on Earth, however, after that rotation is stopped, the individual pitches his head. This phenomena tends to damp out after a few seconds. However, when the rotating motion is stopped, it tends to return and gradually damp out. However, if the subject were to almost immediately pitch his head forward, that tends to stop this eye motion. Investigators want to look at this phenomenon in a zero-gravity environment. Space Lab, this is Marshall Ops for Byron. While you're here in the aft end cone, if you could pitch the aft camera downward about 5 degrees, that'd get the overhead lights out of the field of view of the camera and give us a better picture of what's going on. Hey, that's real good. Thanks a lot.
Like the way I did that without any hands?
That's pretty impressive, Byron. Floating through the field of view a few seconds ago, one of the reservoirs which hold the fluid used in the fluid physics module. Lichtenberg stowing another one of those reservoirs in the stowage drawers at this time. And Byron Lichtenberg stowing a second fluid physics reservoir in another of the stowage containers.
Guys ready for some wing toss?
And the Space Lab, this is Marshall Ops. The 300 team says you can go ahead with that resume MHF at this time.
Okay, it's in work.
And we see it's in work. Byron Lichtenberg practicing ring toss. Body restraint system.
Momentarily misplaced the metronome. We can't count the cadence without the metronome, so they have to do it by estimation. I was on the wall here for days, and at this point we can't find it.
Owen, Chuck Ullman passes up and thinks it might be in the bar, on the BRS. Okay, we copy, you found it. Space Lab, this is Marshall Ops. We still show a flashing ops lamp on the MHF. Did you give the resume, and if not, could you do it, please?
Yes, we did give it an MHF resume, 5472. Another one?
Yeah, I guess need another one, Owen. Thank you very much.
See the point, I didn't put the enter after it, so now I've given it a double 5472. Shall I erase that and do it over for you?
Yeah, I think we need exact syntax. Why not be clip? Yeah, we're still seeing a flash.
Hey Mike, what do you want to do to erase the two 5472s?
Okay, I'll check with 300 to see which button it is that declares a given entry invalid. Owen, what we need is an error and a repeat. I believe there's a button there called error. Yeah, okay, we see you nodding.
Okay, and you want resume MHF enter?
We need resume MHF enter, that's correct.
Steady up.
Hey, real good, Owen. Thanks very much. We'll log the time. Space Lab, 102 for Owen.
102.
Owen, just checking, want to make sure that you both have reviewed message 107, which I think is in your flight data file from the last shift.
Okay, I'll have to go look up 107. Have we...
Voice of Chuck Ullman here in the science monitoring area. One of the experiment 102 principal investigators. Byron Lichtenberg strapping into the body restraint system.
Chuck, your microphone has always been bad every time we've heard you talk. Your muffled voice. It's possible you ought to change to somebody who's got a better mic there if you're going to be talking. And also, can you give us a clue as to what's on 107? We don't remember it.
Roger, Owen. Standby 1.
That sounded a little bit better that time.
Space Lab 102 for Owen. How copy?
Clear?
Good. Message 107 is essentially asking you to indicate when the questions are, does post-rotational head yaw continue when your head goes down on the dumping runs? Copy?
Oh, I missed part of it, Chuck. Your transmission is much better now. That's a better microphone. And that's something to do about post-rotational yaw, but I'm sorry I missed part of it.
Okay, I'll read it again when you're ready. Byron Lichtenberg in the process of wiring up the electrodes around his eyes to measure eye movement or nystagmus during this experiment.
Columbia, this is Houston.
Do you know the color coding? Houston?
Roger, this is Houston calling Columbia on air to ground 1.
Go ahead, Mary.
Roger, Brewster, I would like to get you set up for a water dump here, so we'd like you to take your red controller out temp to high now.
Okay, then what are we going to do?
Roger, Brewster. Well, at the normal dump time for your water dump, which is 9:30, we're going to go back to normal on the red controller and then dump to 0.
I don't see a water dump at 9:30.
Okay, sorry about that. We'll check on it. Stand by.
Not that we shouldn't do one, Mary. I just haven't seen one there.
Okay, we're checking on it for you. It was changed and moved back from 10:30 to 9:30, and we're trying to find out where for you. And what we're doing in the setup, we're going to dump to 0 again to try to get the gas out of the tank.
Okay, so you want me to go ahead and go to high temp on the reds?
Roger, Booster, and then we're sorry on the cap update we didn't say anything about that, and it might have been a problem while we're checking.
Okay, but you do want to go high temp anyhow?
That's affirmative.
Okay, and we're there.
And Brewster, thanks a lot. We'll give you this loop back to the guys in the back.
Okay.
While Lichtenberg is Space Lab 102 has some very nice live TV down here. Byron, when you do the dumping runs, we'd like you to note.
Can't hear you, Chuck. He cannot hear you. He doesn't have his headset on.
Okay.
You tell me if there's any change.
Sure. Just tell him to make a note of what happens to his sensation when his head goes down, and when he brings his head back up, does his yaw sensation increase? We'd also like to know if there are any problems with localizable sound cues. Copy?
So,
MS2 102, also, we'd like you, if you have time, to do a repeat of step 3 on your checklist for rotation to the left with no pitching head movement. Copy?
step 3 is repeat for right rotation with no pitching head movement. So you want to do it to the left?
Yeah, we want to come out of this with 2 runs with no pitching head movement. One to the right and then one to the left. Copy?
Right, 2 runs, one to the right with no pitching and one to the left with no pitching.
That's affirmed. And on both of those runs, Byron should push the button when his post-rotatory sensation disappears. And that's it. Call us if you have problems.
Okay, good one. Your calibration's complete, EOG calibration.
Copy. Lichtenberg now retrieving the blindfold which he'll wear during this experiment. Just completing the calibration where he looks at a calibration point and then moves his eyes left, right, up and down into the center to gain calibration of the electrodes and the data coming from those electrodes around his eyes. It's a preliminary step to actually doing the experiment. And in this experiment, the subject wears the accelerometer unit on the front of the forehead instead of the back. Byron now installing the blindfold. Lichtenberg being rotated about 120 degrees per second. First to the right. This rotation goes on for about 60 seconds. At which time this system will be stopped as quickly as possible. Space Lab 102, did you guys get a calibration in the aft end cone before we started this run? Thank you.
Do you want that dumping on the first run, or did you want 2 without dumping to begin with?
No, you did it fine. We saw Byron a little bit late on the button push, but that's okay.
Please, Byron told me the same thing you did. Dumping to the right, dumping to the left, and then one in each direction without dumping. Is that correct now, Chuck?
That's affirmative, Owen. At Space Lab, this is Marshall Operations. We're with you for another 5 minutes, but after we've gone, LOS, you're welcome to use the entire tape on VITR number 1. There's a full 55 minutes there for recording any of this TV information that you like. We'll be able to dump as much as you can record on our next pass.
Number 1.
In the next step of the experiment, Lichtenberg is now being rotated to the left, and the little white pouch that he's wearing around his waist as an event marker, he's able to indicate when he stops rotation and also when he pitches his head forward. And as in the first run, 5 seconds after stop of rotation, Lichtenberg will pitch his head forward to his chest, hold it for 5 seconds, and then move his head erect and hold that position for 50 seconds.
And Space Lab, we'd like to have you start your tape recorder, number 1. Disregard, we've already got it on.
Space Lab 102 for Owen. If you have time to repeat the one where that bearing broke out, please do so. Space Lab 102 in the blind for Owen. Please repeat the run in which the BRS bearing broke out if you have time. No need to acknowledge.
Hey, I did see a signal on the video. I thought you were watching me, so I got that. And the trouble is there's no foot restraint on that side to help catch you.
Yeah, it looks tricky. We lost our video down here, so you're on your own.
And Space Lab, we'll see you at
I thought you had...
5.
This is Marshall Space Lab Operations, 7 days, 7 hours, 23 minutes mission elapsed time. A loss of signal with Space Lab through the tracking and data relay satellite. Anticipate reacquiring again through TDRS in about 41.5 minutes. Should have both S-band voice communications as well as high-rate data down from the spacecraft through the K-band. During this last pass, we received some downlink television of experiment 102, the nystagmus dumping portion of that experiment. And Dr. Chuck Oman from MIT was voice-enabled and worked with the crew as they went through that experiment. It's another of the vestibular series of experiments, and this particular experiment is looking at a phenomenon known as nystagmus, and it is a motion of the eye that when an individual is rotated, apparently the vestibular system tends to attempt to steer the eye to enable him to see. This occurs even when the eye is closed. And there is a phenomenon that once this rotation starts, for the first several seconds, this nystagmus will occur, and then it will tend to stop. However, once the rotation stops, the nystagmus reoccurs again. And in one gravity, if the subject just holds his head still, ultimately this will tend to damp out. However, if the subject almost immediately pitches his head forward, it tends to stop immediately. And this experiment is designed to take a look at that phenomenon in a zero-gravity environment. Also during this pass, Bill Taylor of the Space Experiments with Particle Accelerators research team here in the Payload Control Center spoke with the crew about the operations with that experiment during the hot test, primarily just to get the experiment turned on to take some temperature readings of the experiment while while the payload bay is oriented toward the sun. At 7 days, 7 hours, 26 minutes mission elapsed time, this is Marshall Space Lab operations. This is Mission Control, Houston. We're in a fairly long LOS period. We lost signal some time ago at the Merritt Island land station, and it'll be another 40 minutes before we acquire air to ground again. Everything's quiet on board the orbiter, and as well, quiet as well here in the Mission Control Center. The flight director during this LOS period got a briefing from the weather officer and was essentially told that there's a front approaching the west coast. They expect the front to cross through Edwards by Wednesday, although that time is marginal. That the front may carry gusty winds. They expect that the front, when it passes by Edwards, Edwards will have a couple of days of clear weather, but they're of course not able to tell how much water that front might leave behind as it goes by Edwards. And the crew has been advised that, or is being advised of that weather prognostication, so that's very indefinite projection yet for entry day. At mission elapsed time, 7 days, 7 hours, 28 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston. This is Mission Control Houston. We're 1 minute away from acquisition of signal through the TDRS system, and anticipating some previously unscheduled TV, an attempt to downlink some TV during this pass. Columbia is on its 119th orbit of the Earth. Mission lapse time presently 7 days, 8 hours, 4 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston. Space Lab, this is Marshall Operations through TDRS. How do you copy?
Hello, Michael, we copy loud and clear, over.
Real good. How's everything going?
Through with FO2. Smoothly, in cycle.
Real good. We copy you through at FO2A. Hope you got a bunch of good runs. And wonder how things look over at the MSDR.
The things look steady at the MSDR, no flashing ops yet.
Okay, we understand. It shouldn't be too long, though, before you get your flashing ops lamp.
Do that, and if you have a couple of minutes, if Chuck Oman's there, we can give him a quick report on 2A.
Okay, we're going to bring up Chuck Oman. Well, I'm sure I'll have a few questions about the FO2A run. And we're going to take care of dumping your VITR number 1 for you. Okay, can you give me the dumping VITR? Space Lab 102.
Say that again?
Can you give me a dump?
Roger. Yes, Roger. We copy you loud and clear. Are you ready for a dump on the dumping?
Ready. Go ahead.
Okay, okay. The initial sensations after the dumping were that the sense of yaw went away very rapidly when we dumped, and at least for me, when I brought my head back up, I had just a very, very weak sense of rotation. It was less strong than we had on the ground. The sensation of post-rotation we marked with a push of the event marker, and I know it was running around 30 seconds after we stopped. I'm not sure what my times were.
Copy that.
One other good piece of news is I checked the recorder number 1. Maybe I didn't have the power switch turned on before, and it seems to be working fine now.
Good news. Thank you.
Byron?
Chuck, when I dropped my head, the rotation stopped immediately as it does on the ground. When I brought my head back up on the first time, I had a slight ambivalence as to whether I was rotating a little bit left or right, sort of wobbling back and forth. On the second run, when I brought my head back up on the count of 10, I had a somewhat upward pitching sensation, but still very slight. And no other comments, I believe.
Okay, copy all that. Were there any problems with local?
Be careful that the two parts of the crystal do not crow together. So keep the zone as high as possible, but observe carefully the diameter of the crowing crystal. It should never decrease.
This is Marshall Space Lab Operations at 7 days, 8 hours, 58 minutes mission elapsed time. A loss of signal through the tracking and data relay satellite with Space Lab. Reacquisition in about 41 more minutes. No ground stations between now and the time we reacquire through TDRS. Early on in that pass, we received some downlink television of experiment 102. That television recorded earlier actually during the loss of signal period between acquisitions through TDRS, that of the nystagmus dumping experiment provided by Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Additionally, we received the first television during the mission from inside of the mirror heating facility during an attempt to grow a single silicon crystal. And during this operation, payload specialist Byron Lichtenberg on orbit, manipulating the silicon rod inside the furnace, and Dr. Akeem Iyer in user room 2 here in the Payload Operations Control Center in constant communication with Lichtenberg as he grew the crystal, working very closely with him, making suggestions as to how he could best manipulate the crystal, which is actually pushed up. The rod is pushed up slowly. The heat of the furnace is critical and must be adjusted. The series of numbers that you heard being provided to Lichtenberg were different heat settings for the mirror heating facility. Additionally, while all this is happening, the rod is being rotated very slowly within the furnace. And a very critical procedure. And a very excited Dr. Iyer here in the Payload Operations Control Center as he not only spoke with Lichtenberg but observed the crystal growth operation. Additionally, here in the payload control room, many members of the POC cadre were also watching very closely this first operation of the crystal growth. Alternate payload specialist Mike Lampton, who had been training with the crew as a backup crew member and has been providing guidance both to the crew and to members of the cadre throughout the mission on science operation, watching very closely and visibly excited about this crystal growth operation, indicating that this is one of the things that Space Lab is all about, the ability for a researcher here in the Payload Operations Control Center, more than 100 miles beneath the spacecraft, can work directly with an experimenter on board the spacecraft during the conduct of his experiment. 7 days, 9 hours, 2 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Marshall Space Lab Operations. Why don't you do...
This is Mission Control Houston. Elapsed time is 7 days, 9 hours, 37 minutes. We've had a very long LOS period with the orbiter. We're coming up on a UHF pass through Goldstone. We'll acquire in 4.5 minutes, and it'll be a fairly brief pass of just over 2 minutes long, and then we'll go into another very long LOS period again, picking up subsequently until until we get to Botswana at about 45 minutes from now. But of course, the orbiter retains the capability to communicate with the MOCR on Earth Ground 1 in case there's any urgent situation. Teeter's acquisition coming up. This is Mission Control Houston.
This is Marshall Space Lab operations. 7 days, 9 hours, 39 minutes mission elapsed time. Standing by in just over a minute for reacquisition of signal with Space Lab through the tracking and data relay satellite. Here in the Payload Operations Control Center, handover is now underway from blue to red teams. And on board the Space Lab, handover is still a short time away. However, it's been a busy day on board Space Lab for the crew, spending much time conducting both material science and life sciences activities. However, it's been a fairly good day for them. Crew accomplishing quite a bit in both areas. And during the last acquisition of signal, we received some live downlink television of the first inside look at the mirror heating facility while a silicon crystal was being grown. Space Lab Marshall through Goldstone, be handing over to Teeters before too long. Got you for about 53 minutes. Good morning to the oncoming red team, and we've got a quickie for you right at the beginning of this from CPAC for whoever is available, either Bob or Ulf. We're going to enable CPAC and let them run you through in real time a quickie. We think they may be able to get some additional data that they need just coming out of the hot test. And if whoever's available, give us a shout and we'll have CPAC enabled.
Hey, Chuck, I believe you just, we came up in the middle of your conversation. Did you ever hear from Space Lab before?
Negative, we just made you an AOS call, Owen. Good morning.
Didn't hear your AOS call. You just came up talking in the middle of the conversation somewhere.
Sorry about that. We got you for 52 minutes, Owen. Good morning to the red team and good evening to you.
Morning to you, Mr. Red. Oh, so do we.
And we're looking for Bob if he's available, Owen.
He's not on duty yet. He's around. Just loaded into the module, Chuck, but can we go ahead and take care of it for you? What's up?
Yeah, you can, Owen. It's a quickie the CPAC would like to do prior to or just after going out of the hot test. And if you've got about 10 minutes, we can enable CPAC, and they'd like to ask you to do a couple things on the panel for them.
Well, when do they want to do it? Right at this moment or a little later in the shift?
Yeah, in real time, Owen, right now.
Sure, let's go.
Space Lab, this is CPAC. We'd like to just get 1 minute with our IUDEP on so we can get temperatures coming out of the hot test. And we need IUDEP on now and chargers enabled. We'll wait 1 minute and turn them off.
They're both on right now.
Roger, and we have lock going.
So you have what?
We have data flow. We've got HRM lock on our high-speed data.
Fine, Roger.
And Space Lab, this is CPAC. We are through with the test. We see MTV is at 77 degrees Celsius. still don't have a good route.
Okay, shall I turn them back off?
That's affirmed.
Roger. Yeah, Marshal, up, space lab.
Go ahead, Byron.
Okay, Chuck, if Akinaya is there, the 321 people, we have some very good news for them.
Go.
Okay, we completed the crystal growth quite successfully, went all the way to the end, and Ulf looked at it and we jumped up and down and slapped each other's hands. Thought it looks really nice up there. It's all on videotape. And one note for the systems people, we did get an MHF shutdown of stop 321, which is the standard outlet temperature high, but that was about, I guess 2 or 3 minutes into the final sample inspection phase. Over.
All right, copy that, Byron, and you'll be happy to know that the video image was spectacular.
Okay, that's good news. Second comment, I guess for the replanners, I feel kind of bad about Jan Weber's experiment the other day with taking the wrong f-stop, and I'd like to get a couple hours in there sometime and repeat his experiment on some videotape, please.
Copy that.
I'm not sure when it's going to be. One other data point for the hop and drop harness people. After 3 days in a row, I don't think my shoulders are going to hang out for another day of hopping and dropping.
Roger.
Suggestion they might want to include would be an hour or two for some internal photography that we haven't had much time for. Some of it's called out for within the experiments, but there's a lot of things that might usefully be documented. I think we're out of Hasselblad photos on a flight deck, but we still have a lot of 35mm stuff that we could usefully take both inside and outside the spacecraft if there were some time allotted for that, Chuck.
Okay, we got that too, Owen. Thank you.
Okay, the other thing, Chuck, we've been talking, it'd be nice to get some dedicated ZLV attitude here so we can make use of that metric camera film over the next couple of days. In addition to that, if you do schedule metric camera ZLV, it ought to be times when the meteorologists are fairly confident there's going to be no cloud cover.
Roger.
Oh, and Chuck, one comment, I guess, for the 102 people. We had a replan note the other day to try and take the Nikon photos of the hopping and dropping, and we tried to set that up, but to no avail because the interior light is so dim in here that we're down at a shutter speed of about 1/8 of a second, which means we're not going to get very many frames per second. And also the 105 lens wasn't suitable. I had to go even to the 35, and it still just didn't have quite enough light. So we haven't taken any of the photographs. It's all on video for the hop and drop. Over.
Roger. And Space Lab, just to give you a little, a quick rundown of what we plan to do the first part of this pass. We've got the fluid physics folks up and anxious to talk to Ulf as soon as he's available.
I wait, Chuck, because the red team's out on the headset yet, and they'd be the ones most interested in this information.
That's fine. As soon as they're there, Owen, we got plenty of time, we think, in this pass. And just the other thing we wanted to mention is that the MCC is probably going to come online about 10 o'clock to give you all a quick handover summary.
Yeah, PMCC, you say? You said the MCC, Chuck?
That's affirmed.
Thank you. And Chuck, I know that there's also there's a plan underfoot here with a combination of Mike Kane's and John Tyday's hardware to try and still grow a cylinder up here using sort of a closed up system of end plates, and we'd like to go ahead and try and do that too. I feel pretty bad. We still haven't gotten too much of the fluid physics folks here during the whole mission.
point.
Space Lab, Byron.
Roger, go ahead.
Yeah, your last desire, was that to form cylindrical zones? And if so, for what, was it then Isidoros and Napolitanos, or do I understand it wrong?
Yeah, I think the plan was, talking to Mike Haynes earlier today, to use the plastic Perspex syringe from his capillarity experiment, along with John Paday's rear disc, and those two seem to have pretty good attachments, and set those up on the fluid physics module in the reservoir, and just try and form a cylinder. And once we get a cylinder, then I guess we'd probably do something like Isidoro's experiment, since we can't do much heating, which would rule out most of Luigi's.
I understand. So it's basically the Dariva's exploration using the Haynes and equipment. Okay.
Yeah, it's sort of a kludged up deal, although, and I've talked a little bit to Ulf about how we might try and go about doing it. Mike Haynes briefed me a little bit earlier today. But as you know, we've had a devil of a time trying to get any type of fluid column, that we planned on for diameter, and have not yet been able to grow a cylinder.
Yes, I know. Thanks for your suggestion, Byron.
And I'd add that you probably guys heard, had a very successful run with Mike Haynes' capillarity experiment today, doing it manually, just during the module, taking some 16mm film of it with our module movie camera.
Looks like you're collecting a great amount of signs up there.
Yeah, this is really kind of fun. We had silicon oil all over the module, and there were lights and cameras and all kinds of different clamps set up, and I believe it worked. Houston and the Mocha from the Space Lab, the towers are now repressed. And Marshall Ops Space Lab for the 025 PI, another performance has been performed.
Roger.
Space Lab, Houston, we copy that SAL is repressed.
And Space Lab for Byron, can you give a start MHF enter to have the MHF continuing into its loading position after the stop?
Okay, sure can. We're just standing by until we got into contact here. We'll go on the fluid physics module. We also got more discs for Mike Haynes that we could use also, even though there's not a whole lot of film left. I'm so sure that video might come in handy.
Sure, we understand. And you have special suggestions on how to set up the video for that? Over.
For sure, the way we had it set up the other day, I would just take the camera with the color lens and a 1 diopter lens on it and just stick it right in there. If you really wanted a good view, we could, once the film's gone, we could demount the Vinton camera.
Understand, Byron. Probably good to transfer this information to the next crew. Over.
Roger. I guess what I'm trying to say is that we've gotten a lot of people all their nominal runs plus some more, and there's quite a few experimenters that still really feel like we've kind of haven't been totally successful with yet.
Yes, Byron, we hear you saying we'll copy it all and we work on it.
Byron, one more reminder after the handover briefing from the MCC. Mike Haynes would like to talk with both you and Ulf, so you might stick around for just a few minutes after that.
Okay.
Columbia and Space Lab on air to ground 1.
Houston, Space Lab, go ahead.
Yeah, we copy. We're standing by also for Columbia.
Go ahead, Anna.
Okay, we just have a handover message here, a couple things we want to mention. First of all, there were minimal changes to the cap and attitude timeline for red flight day 9, reference message 120. The only other change they can expect is we'll sometime be bringing up IMU-2 prior to the SES checkout, and we'll get a note up to you on that. For everyone, we want to say there was a good job on the presidential teleconference, and everyone was very pleased, and you should have attaboys pouring in from around the world. This is also the fourth consecutive shift with no new failure summary, since we don't have any new problems to report, so Columbia is performing like a champ. Most important, we'd like to get your comments on the Extension Day summary timeline, if you'll reference message 119. We already have a change to that in work, which you'll be getting uplinked to you over Argo. FAO is working very hard to reduce the time shown for the MS and TS by about 50%, and we'd like to have any comments you might have on that.
Anna, do you think we could look at the one that's coming up over Santiago and then make the comments relative to that one?
FAO says he would prefer that if you don't mind doing that.
Well, that would give the redshift at least a little more time to look at it.
Okay, we'll stand by to get your answer after you look at it, and for your info, that'll just be one page. It'll be the second page of the message we uplink to you.
Okay, understand, and that's essentially the first part of the extension day, right?
Yeah, that's affirmative. Also, if you have any comments on the end of mission weather briefing which Mary gave you, we'd be interested in hearing that, and also your answer to message 122, the blue flight day 8 Earth Obs message number 2, which was sent up over Aurora.
Yeah, we have that. We have the message, that is.
Okay, and if you can give us an answer sometime after you've had a chance to look it over.
Okay.
And the consumable status I gave you yesterday, Booster, there's been no change to that. And finally, 2 items. The people in Calgary have seen you 3 nights in a row, and they'd like to say hello. And for John, the crew of the John W. Young Destroyer send their regards from Pier 2 on 32nd Street in San Diego Harbor, where you can see it as you're going over. And that's all we have.
Fantastic. Thank you a lot, Anna, and we'll get back to you with the comments after we've had a chance to look at the revised, proposed summary timeline.
Okay, that is the most important thing, and we'll be waiting for your words on that.
Okay. Well, just let me tell you what the feeling is talking to the redshift on the timeline was that they would like to get some ZLV, particularly over Europe, so they could use the metric camera. And I didn't see anything in the flight plan today that allowed them to do that. And I think something like that, if the weather is good, would be a good idea.
Okay, John, we'll look into that.
Houston, Columbia.
Go ahead, Columbia.
Did you hear those comments from John?
We copied Z-local vertical over Europe for the metric camera. Was there anything else?
In fact, what they discussed, Anna, was doing something like that in reference to the 201 type thing, and maybe doing 201 the next day.
We copied, John, and we've been working that for you.
Okay, thank you. And Anna from the Space Lab, we had some inputs into the POCC side just a couple minutes ago, which you may or may not have copied.
We didn't copy all those, but they say they're going to be working that, and we'll get your inputs from them.
Okay. Anna, this is Wolf speaking.
Go ahead, Ulf.
Okay, for the metric camera, I think REF 141 would be particularly interesting because it runs to Spain, France, Germany, Switzerland, all sorts of European countries, and that would be a really good use of the remainder of the film.
Okay, Ulf, we copy that, and we'll look at that for you.
And also for the other ships, maybe one off to the United States.
And Space Lab, Marshal Ops, question for Ulf. Which orbit were you indicating? 101 is, I guess, already gone.
Okay, orbit 141.
Okay,
141.
Roger, we got that.
And if it was one early in the morning to get to the east coast of the U.S., that'd be good to look for, too. Looks like Rev 144.
Roger, we copy. 144.
Space Lab Marshal for Byron and Ulf. If you're ready, we'd like to bring up Mike Haynes to discuss some of the fluid physics concerns with you. And looks like we've got some time here until the end of this pass. If you'll do that, we'll monitor, and as soon as you're done, we'll start thinking about something else.
We are ready. Like Houston 145 ascending might be a good ZLV also.
We copy that, Space Lab.
Like ZLV all day, except for if somebody else might be nice.
We copy that, and we'll relay that to FAO.
We haven't had much time at all to look out the windows in the back end.
We copy that, and we're doing our best to accommodate that request.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mike.
Space Lab, Mike Haynes, good morning to you, Ulf, and good evening, Byron.
Morning, Mike. Good evening. What?
Yes, it's a little hard to tell. Okay, well, we copied the earlier remarks of Byron with great interest, but despite what he said, I think we can all agree on the ground here that the fluid physics has had a much better time in the last two shifts than we did in the earlier part of the mission, for which we thank you both very much. And I think one lesson that we've learned is the value of improvisation. Are you reading me?
Loud and clear, Mike. Go ahead.
Okay, this improvised approach seems to be paying off, and we are considering proposing, dependent on resources of all kinds, some kind of improvised, combined FPM experiment, a kind of rescue operation, which may provide data in place of the data that's been lost through no fault of yours. And we've been having a ground conference on this, and all the FPM PIs are here around me now. But we would very much like to get some crew involvement too, so we've been lucky to get a little time to talk with you, and we want to get some input from you and some advice. Over?
Okay, well, we're here. I guess you'd like some advice from us as to what you think we could do, and I take your suggestion earlier, Mike, that we could try to use your part of your syringe and John Paday's end plate to try and form a cylinder. I think that would be the first thing, because so many of the experiments are based on forming a cylinder, either looking at Luigi's Marangoni convection or Isidora's stability limits, C-mode oscillations, vibrations, what have you. So that should be probably one of the first priorities, and then we can worry about just exactly what we do with it if we can finally get one.
Okay, that sounds fine. We have a general plan in mind, which would involve the following steps. Firstly, forming a drop on one end plate, then contacting it with the other and inducing spreading, and then thereby forming a zone. So that's the first part. Then having got a zone there, we can vibrate it, rotate it, rock and roll it, shake it, and generally impose stress on it, and possibly thermal stress if this is possible with the heating arrangements we have, and if tracer particles are present.
Then following that, we could rupture the zone, and that would leave a captive drop on the rear plate, which we could vibrate on behalf of Madame Rodot. At the end of all this, then we would rejoin the two halves and investigate the curious phenomenon which you observed of resistance to rejoining. First, can I ask you whether, in your experience, have we missed anything interesting in this list, or have we included anything which you think is impossible or just not practically feasible?
I think that sounds like it'd be something good to try. I don't think you've missed too much. I think that's pretty much covered it. The other thing that I would like to do is to go back, as I said earlier, and repeat some of Jan Zabel's experiments and maybe try and put them on videotape also. I realize we are running short of 16mm film.
Okay, yes, I wanted to ask you about reserves. First of all, of the three different oils, 5 centistokes with, 5 centistokes without, and 100 centistokes. How do you estimate the reserves?
I'm sorry, repeat your question about the three oils, please.
Okay, I'm inquiring about the reserves in the reservoirs of the three oils. I suppose you could estimate this from the number of Kimwites you've used in mopping up operations, but what, do you reckon that any of the cylinders are nearly empty by now?
I don't really know, Mike. Nobody can look inside the reservoirs, but we might have lost oil in the order of 40, 50 cubic centimeters. Maybe a little more, but less than 100, I would think.
Okay, that's good news.
Reservoir.
Okay, that's good news. Of course, we can't ask you to weigh the reservoirs unless you do a Helen Ross with them. You've already mentioned the...
Suppose missed that. Mike, can you repeat that? There's a lot of static noise on the comms. We didn't catch you.
Sorry, the point was simply that it's a pity that you can't weigh the reservoirs unless you choose to do a Helen Ross with them.
Oh, no, not here.
Okay.
I'd say one thing, Mike, that if we wanted to do it, that the 100 centistoke fluid with tracers is by far the easier one to use. It's a little more well-behaved, shall we say, and that might be our first fluid of choice to try and carry out the protocol to see how it works, over.
Yes, we've noticed that you had better behavior with 100 centistokes, but the problem with it was, I believe it appeared to contain no tracers.
Oh, that's affirmative, but so what?
Okay, so what? The point is that would rule out any Marangoni investigation. We'd have to think about that one.
Well, I mean, it is pretty hard to tell up here, but it might be that there are still sufficient cases to do flow pattern evaluation on the ground when you have all means and microscopes and so on and so forth. But yeah, we don't. I didn't see traces. But so what? You can use the oil for many things except for Marangoni convection.
Okay, point taken. Of course, we have considered the possibility of using another fluid, and the majority vote amongst us is for the silicone oil, despite the problems that we've had. But this was not a unanimous vote. Some of us would prefer to use water with a soap solution, using this to create bubbles as tracers. Does the crew have a view on this? Is it possible to refill a reservoir in 0G? What do you think? Over.
Well, that is the question, as all the other questions related to fluid physics. You never know. You have to try that, Mike.
Okay, we've noted that comment. Thank you very much. Can I ask you some more questions about the present state of the FPM? What state are the end plates in? I imagine they must be rather messy by now.
I think everything is out. When you say messy, we've cleaned off the normal end plates, but you're talking about inside the FPM. We've tried to keep it as clean as we could, but I think there's a thin coating of oil all over it.
That's
including the inside of the chamber, presumably, yeah?
Yes, that's affirmative.
We shall certainly be interested in finding out whether you have any joy with today's improvised disc and finding out whether silicone oil...
Break. Houston, would you give the flight deck a call, please? Flight deck would like to hear from you. Houston, this is Space Lab. The flight deck would like to have you give them a call on S-band.
Columbia, Houston on air to ground 1.
Okay, Houston, we thought it'd be better to do RCS hotfire over with TDIS so y'all could look at it. What do you think? Does that interfere with anything you're doing?
Stand by. We're looking into that, John.
Say again, Anna?
Yeah, John, we're looking into that and get right back to you.
Orphan Byron, this is Mike Haynes again. I can come in for a short minute. We're nearly at the end of these questions and we're greatly appreciating your answers. First, has the recovery system, the fan recovery system, be used? If not, then it would be useful to try the system out before the end of the mission.
Mike, can you just wait a minute? We are doing the handover here. We'll come back with you, to you.
Okay, standing by.
Hey, Mike Haynes, we are done here. We are back with you.
Welcome back, Orphan Byron. Okay, well, we're very nearly at the end of this list of questions, and we're still debating your answers, in fact, in user room 2. Luigi has a question direct for you. He's interested in Marangoni effects, and he would like to know whether it's possible to get them on TV. What's your view on this?
I think if we use the right lighting in the background, then we can get some good television of that, Mike and Luigi. I agree. I think the television system we got up here is extremely good. It is very, very low light level, and the only problem is probably the resolution of these fine tracers. But I'm absolutely confident that the light level is good enough to use the television.
Okay, that's great news, and I might just comment that it was a great thrill to see the live TV this afternoon, and I appreciated that very much. One further point, we would ask you to save some of the anti-spread barrier, so that we can examine it after the flight.
Let me tell you, the little container we got from San Pere is empty, but we have that little tube type of thing left.
Okay, that little tube will be just what we want. Thank you. I'm not sure whether I've missed any points. I think not in the ones that I was asked to ask you, and I just ask you now whether you have any questions for us. Over.
Question. Is there anything we can do to get our data now in the situation we are in?
Sorry, Ulf, you were broken.
Okay, the question was whether there is anything we can do to give you some extra points, some extra data points. Over.
Okay, that's a kind thought. I think that if we can find the resources to mount this kind of rescue operation combined experiment, then we shall all benefit with some more data. So we'll work on getting something put together and try and find the time slot in which it can be done.
There's at least one thing which I'd like to stress here. For upcoming missions, we have to provide tools to clean the end plate such that you can start from scratch. The problem we are left with is that the plates we have here are all wetted with oil, and whatever we do, Kleenex, tissue or towels or all these materials don't really remove the oil entirely.
Yes, I know that oil is extremely difficult to remove. I don't know whether you can manage to scrounge from anybody else on board or any of the other experiments some alcohol wipes, because that might be an improvement. Over.
Well, I did that also with alcohol wipes, but even the alcohol wipes do not remove entirely the oil, but what they truly remove is the anti-spotting barrier.
That raised a laugh in the room. Okay, we're all very happy with this conference. Thank you both very much, and we also thank you very much on behalf of all of us to both of you, and also to Owen, who I think may have made some suggestions during this afternoon's run. And have a happy mission. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, Mike, remember that I didn't get to do any of the cylinder type formation this afternoon, so we've been putting our inputs into the replanning process here to try and get some time for you guys, but y'all ought to go pound on the doors a little bit and make sure you get your fair share of the time.
We'll be doing that. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Well, I'm about to go have dinner and go off shift, so I really enjoyed doing that experiment today. I was glad I had the free time and we were able to get the mechanism up. I can't wait to see that film because I think it'll give some pretty good results. Over.
It seemed to us to be a very forceful example of what Space Lab is all about. Collaborative and improvised science. Thank you very much indeed. Good night.
Thanks, Roger. See you all tomorrow.
Go ahead.
Do we have a PCAP replanning thing coming up for the redshift today? We don't see anything yet.
Yeah, there should be one up
Okay,
there.
you need your line clear. I think there's one up there already, Chuck.
We just heard that we're going to voice this up to you, and we can do that as soon as you're ready, Bob.
Stand by, just I'm not ready. That's Chuck. Hey, Chuck. How are you?
Space Lab Marshall Ops. You call?
Glad to go ahead with those replanning. Okay, we are both here.
Okay, we're starting at day 11, and
11.
we've delayed the 323 gear position for all.
Hey, Chuck, are you saying that we have 11 days now?
No, negative. I'm looking at PCAP day 11.
Yeah, that's the question. PCAP day 11, that's fine.
Now, my mistake, Golf. Hour 11.
Seems like 11 days. Okay, that was a joke. We're delaying, right?
Yeah, we're delaying 323 until 11:15.
Wait, Chuck, I have a quick question here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just looking at this, and I see that sometime today I was supposed to change out the 101 videotape, which I have not done. Nobody really called it up to me. Do you guys have a status on that? Maybe you want Ulf to do that later?
Okay, let's see if we can work that while we're going ahead with the rest of this PCAP change.
Marshall, I changed the tape yesterday when we had the malfunction, when the video in uplight was on. And we are now on cassette 4 and stand by, give you a quick footage reading. That should solve that thing.
Yeah, we remember that, Ulf. We'll get with the 101 folks and make sure they still want to do that. If not, we'll leave it where it is.
Okay, we are on cassette 4 and footage counter reads 272.
I copied the footage counter. Say again, please, the tape.
272 on cassette 4, and that means there's plenty of tape left.
Copy that, thank you. You guys ready for some more PCAP?
Okay, Roger.
Okay, also on the PS1 side, the 323 sample observation is now beginning at 11 hours 40 minutes.
Okay.
The The minimum ECAS available for that entire hour is now 11.838, I believe.
That's a fantastic computer now.
Yeah.
And I assume we don't need to do a CPAC battery charger, do we?
Stand by. Yeah, it still shows on my PCAP, Bob. Looks like we still have to do it. If that's not the case, we'll get back with you and we'll make an extra effort to check it.
Hey. On hour 12.
Hour 12. Minimum ECAS is also 11.836, 838.
Mind if we run both TMN and TLM at the same time then apparently, yeah?
Stand by on that one, Bob. And on that same page, we've deleted the 322, which was at 12 hours, 30 minutes.
Copy that. And be advised, all pre-mission I kept complaining that I didn't know what the south temp log was, and I still see it here, so someone ought to tell me what I'm supposed to measure to the south temp log at 12:05.
Roger. Okay, Bob, on hour 13, top of the page for the PS, we've deleted 332, 333, and 322.
Okay.
Also on your column, we have deleted 322 and the VFT at about 13:55.
Okay, and understand sometime you're going to give me a call to go back to the cold case fix, right?
Stand by.
Saw a message about that someplace.
Yeah, the cold case is at 7:22, something like that. We'll get back with you.
Yeah.
That tells me 7:22:30.
2:30, okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, at 14 hours?
Okay, now, we didn't do the 322, 332, 333 stop diffusion. Do we do the 333, 332 power off? Talking about, 13 hours, 30 minutes.
We'll get an answer on that one. At 14 hours, Bob, for the MS, we've deleted both VFT runs.
I get up this morning. It's up.
Okay?
And by at hour 14.
Stand by. Okay, on hour 15, Bob, for the PS, we've deleted the 21 Foxtrot 2 and the 334, which was to begin at 15 plus 05 and complete at 15 plus 30.
Okay.
Also, the VFT 4.2.6 was deleted from your side.
Okay, we just finished the hot test earlier, I gather, huh?
Yeah, the hot test maneuver was on time, Bob. We'll finish this when we get back with you. We're about to go LOS.
Okay, 5 hours is far enough ahead. We'll talk to you later.
Okay.
And Bob, do you have anything else for us to do? There's not much on the decap left.
Yeah, we're working on that. What we'd like you to do is maybe get ready for some real time of the mirror heating run that's coming up. We'd like a shot from inside the furnace and also one overall, if you could set that up for us.
Okay. What you are talking about?
Swan and John Young is now on duty in the flight deck of Columbia, having relieved Columbia pilot Brewster Shaw, who is now in exercise period and prepares for what will be his evening in space tonight. Commander Young completed RCS hot fire test on board the vehicle. There was some concern before that test began whether it might violate constraints of experiment number 23. X-ray astronomy experiment, which has a constraint of having the payload bay pointed toward the sun. But it was verified that the RCS tests would not interfere with that mission rule, so they went ahead and successfully completed the hot fire test of the RCS. Mission elapsed time is 7 days, 10 hours, 43 minutes. And we'll have an acquisition of signal to the orbiter in 27 minutes through Hawaii, the UHF station in Hawaii. This is Mission Control Houston.
And this is Marshall, Space Lab Operations. Handover has been completed here in the Payload Operations Control Center with the red team coming in to replace the blue shift. Tom Riccio is now in place as the Payload Operations Director. Chuck Lewis has replaced Mike Lampton as the Crew Interface Coordinator. And the red team will be on for approximately another 12 and a half hours. During this last acquisition of signal, Mission Specialist Ulf Marable and Mission Specialist Robert Parker, Payload Specialist Ulf Marable, had an opportunity to discuss the changes to the Payload Crew Activity Plan, the PCAP. And Ulf Marable spoke with Dr. Michael Haynes, one of the principal investigators of one of the experiments done in the fluid physics module. Dr. Haynes was discussing with Ulf the fluid physics experiments that are coming up, particularly 339, which is the experiment for which Dr. Haynes is principal investigator, and some of the approaches that Ulf Marable could take in seeing if this experiment could go as intended. There had been in yesterday's redshift a bit of difficulty in forming up the liquid column for 339, and so they're going to give it another try during the shift. As the blue shift now completely departs the Payload Operations Control Center, we could probably take a moment to mention some of the highlights that occurred during the last several hours during the blue shift. Several times during the blue shift, many of the PIs were voice enabled to speak directly with the payload crew. The crew worked much of the life science experiments and material science experiments today. In the material science discipline, the crew implemented a workaround for some difficulties that had been experienced with material science double rack in its vacuum and gas system. That's one of the common systems of the material science double rack that supports the various facilities that go into the rack. That workaround was developed by the experiment, by the 300 experiments team, the 300 series experiments team here in the Payload Operations Control Center. One of the highlights, in fact, of the material science discipline experiments today was Byron Lichtenberg working with Dr. Michael Haynes at the University of Bristol in the United Kingdom. Lichtenberg and Haynes worked together to do an improvised fluid physics experiment. That was done outside of the module that goes in the material science double round. And toward the end of the day, Dr. Akimeyer of experiment 321 was voiced up on his experiment number 321 that goes into the mirror heating facility. And while that sample was being processed in the mirror heating facility, we had some television from inside the mirror heating facility. That's the first time that we've had TV from inside the MHF. Other television that was downlinked during the blue shift was some television of the rotating dome experiment. The rotating dome experiment is actually a functional objective within experiment 102 of the stimulus series of experiments. Two other functional objectives from that 102 series was the hop and drop and the nystagmus dumping. And during the blue shift, they did have some television showing the nystagmus dumping functional objective. Also during the blue shift, the FAUST, the Far Ultraviolet Space Telescope, completed its operations today. It has completed its mission. Its film supply has taken the maximum number of pictures possible. And the FAUST was shut down today. Also, experiment 33, that's the metric camera, the high-resolution mapping experiment, completed its operation as well today. Those are some of the highlights that occurred during the blue shift. As we mentioned, the red shift is now in place. We have about 19 minutes remaining before we reacquire communications with the Space Lab. At 7 days, 10 hours, 51 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Marshall Space Lab operations. This is Marshall Space Lab operations. We're standing by now for reacquisition of signal with the Space Lab as we make a brief 4-minute pass over Hawaii. Space Lab Marshall Ops, AOS through Hawaii for 8 minutes.
Yeah, this is Space Lab Marshall. I have one question to... One question in respect to experiment 323. There are two samples available. The one which has been processed already and the first one. Which one does the PR want me to use?
Stand by. Space Lab Marshall for Ulf.
And Marshall?
Ulf, as you can imagine, we're doing some rather frantic replanning down here for this day, and at this point we would like you to not do 323. We're planning for a run of 321 Bravo, which will begin at 12 plus 35, and we'd like you to install 321 Bravo instead of 323.
Okay, 321 Bravo instead of 323. Roger that. Okay. Okay.
And Space Lab Marshall for Bob.
Okay, I'd like to copy for him.
Okay, Bob had asked about the CPAC battery charge at 11 plus 40, and that battery charge has been deleted.
Okay, I've got it out from the TCAP. The CPAC battery charge deleted. And you let us know when you want us to do it.
Roger that, thank you. And Ulf, we're going to be trying to catch up on our replanning for this shift And as soon as we come over the hill on Tigris at 11 plus 20, we can probably spend some more time working these PCAP changes with you.
Okay.
Also, just to clarify the comment relative to real-time TV before we lost you earlier, for the 321 run, which we just talked about, we would like to get some real-time TV of the inside as you did it before in the furnace, and another shot, an exterior shot of that. We plan to enable the camera at about 11:35. I'll delay that. Stand by. Space Lab Marshall, we're going LOS through Hawaii. We'll see you again at 11:20, and as far as the TV is concerned, stand by on that. We'll clarify it when we come back.
Okay, roger.
This is Marshall Space Lab Operations, and we have, after a 4-minute pass over Hawaii, passed out of range of that ground station. I expect now to be picking up the S-band of the tracking data relay satellite in about 3.5 minutes to reestablish communications with Space Lab. During that brief pass over Hawaii, there was discussion between CIC Chuck Lewis and Wolf Merbold as to the replanning of the PCAP, the Payload Crew Activity Plan. Experiment 323 was to have been begun soon, but that was changed to Experiment 321, the second sample for 321. Experiment 321 being the floating zone growth of silicon. That is a mirror heating facility experiment. Dr. Akim Ayer at the University of Freiburg in Germany is the principal investigator. Expecting to reacquire communications in about 2.5 minutes now. That's 7 days, 11 hours, 17 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Marshall Space Lab Operations. And our next spacecraft television will be a VTR dump of the mirror heating facility. Previously recorded activity of an experiment inside the MHF. That comes at the 7-day, 11-hour, 20-minute point. That's about 9:20 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's about a minute from now. We're now looking at a replay of some earlier videotape recording. Taken inside the mirror heating facility during the heating of that first sample inside the MHF for Experiment 321. Space Lab, Marshall Ops.
Yes, easy.
Okay, Bob, if you're ready to copy, we've got some information on the next 20 minutes or so.
Okay, ready to copy.
Okay, we have wiped the slate clean on this hour, except for a run of 330 Jan Vreeborg. This is a run that is being rerun at this point. We would like to do it if we can with video coverage of the chamber. We've got a dump right now, starting now and continuing until 11:35. We can give you real-time video to cover that starting at 11:35. If you guys can get one camera set up for the chamber and one overall, we can get this Vreeborg run off, and I've got some changes to the procedure for you when you're ready.
Do all that in 10 minutes?
Oh no, we've got to the end of the hour.
You want to have all this ready to go in 10 minutes, huh?
If you can do it. If you can't, we'll do something else. Your call.
Don't even have Vreeborg things in the STM. That'll take us, see what we can do.
TVC-1 is looking at an overall shot, we'll leave it where it is, and all you got to worry about then is the camera looking in the chamber.
But that's the one we're setting up right now for the silicon crystal.
Okay, then TVC-2, where is it?
TVC-2 right now is, stand by, let me figure out which cable is whom here. TVC-2 right now is going to be a general shot. It's a little skew at the moment, but it's going to be a general shot for either one of these things.
Okay, that's fine, and we'll be looking for the data then, the science on TVC-1.
But that's what we're setting up for the silicon crystal right now.
Stand by, Bob.
It seems to me we can do one or the other, but not both.
We copy that. We're working it.
Marshal, for your record, we hit the resume for the MHF, crystal number 321 Bravo.
Copy that. Thank you. Space Lab Marshal for Ulf. Ulf, we'd like you to delay the inspection phase of 321 Bravo until 13 hours, 10 minutes.
Roger. Chuck, which of those things are we talking about? We can at least try and start setting those up.
Stand by. Space Lab Marshal.
Marshal, go ahead.
What we're doing is a 330 operation for Vrayborg, and we've got Jan plugging in right now. Ulf, we've got a little change in procedure here that he's going to talk to you about, and while he's doing that, we're going to make sure we're together on the TV. Dr. Jan Vrayborg is Principal Investigator, Experiment 330. That's the experiment being planned now for being set up for this hour. It's a fluid physics experiment. It goes in the fluid physics module.
Marshal, just for the takeoff 321. What sort of film is used for bedroom? I think it is 50 ASA. Is that correct? I got it. 50 ASA, forget it.
The Space Lab, Marshal Officer Ulf, he did not copy. Can you say again?
Forget it, Boo-Boo.
That won't be copied.
Oh, the question, what sort of film is used? And we figured out that it's 50 ASA.
Roger, copy that. Expecting Dr. Jan Vrayborg, the Principal Investigator, Experiment 330, to be voice-enabled within the next few minutes in order to speak directly with the crew in working with that.
Yeah, who can you ask Jan Vrayborg what he wants to use? See it again?
Ulf, you were distorted. Can you speak less loud? Over.
Okay, Jan Vrayborg, wants he on the sphere or what element?
Stand by. We get Jan Vrayborg on the loop. 1 second. Over.
Same.
Yes. Space Lab Marshal for Ulf.
Go ahead.
Okay, Ulf, we've got Jan Vrayborg ready to talk to you, and what he's going to give you some instructions about is an experiment which you can perform simply in front of the TV camera. So you might be able to just turn that camera a few degrees until it can take a picture of Jan John's container, and he'll give you the steps right now.
Okay.
Okay, do you read me?
Wait a minute, John Bond. We'll move to FM here. Okay, we read you. Go ahead.
Okay, Rolf. The procedure is as follows. It involves a change out of the liquid in the cylinder container and to replace it with water. Can I read the procedure to you?
That's Dr. Greenberg.
Okay, stand by. We'll pick up something to write on. Okay, go ahead now.
Okay, first you get the Allen key. That's the small Allen key that you can use to loosen the screws in the lid of the cylinder container. Do you read me?
Okay, an Allen key 6 to open the cylinder container.
Right, and it should be in container L9E FPM2.
Say again the number.
L9E FPM2.
Okay, let's take a look. We have the door too. Okay, we got that.
Then you should empty the cylinder container, but you should not clean it.
You want to use the single cylinder container, Jan?
Yes, you should empty it, but not clean it. And then you should fill the cylinder half with water instead of the silicon oil.
And what do you want us to do with the silicon oil?
Put it in the bag and throw it away.
No toilet or something like that.
Okay, and then you close the cylinder again using the Allen key.
Okay, close the cylinder with the Allen key, okay?
And then shake well. Then you should shake it, and the remnants of the oil will form a dispersion of small drops that act as a tracer. Do you read that?
Okay, we read that you want to leave some small drops of oil left in the container.
Yes, that's why I said empty the cylinder but do not clean. Then by itself some oil will remain in the cylinder. And then
In the cylinder container there are at least 50 cubic centimeter of oil.
no, I don't think it's that much.
Let me ask you the question. Do you want us to use the single cylinder, part number 330.1, or the double cylinder?
The single one. That's affirmative.
Single cylinder, okay.
And at the end you should have a meniscus rather than a bubble in the center, which you have now. You should be able to get all the water on one end of the cylinder.
We have a little trouble to read you. Could you leave it to Hugo or Jack Lewis? For some reason, their comm systems are better than yours.
Okay, affirmative. Thank you.
And Space Lab, Marshal Ops for Ulf.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Okay, are you calling us?
Yeah, yes. Oh. TV, and the other is I'm going to read back that note which Jan Fraber kept to make sure that you copied it. Over.
We're now receiving live TV.
Okay, we started to copy, but it's very static. I have trouble to read him. Go ahead then.
And off we then go to downlink TVC2, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Yes, off. Step one of this Freiberg experiment is you get the normal cylinder container, which is the part 330-1, which is the one.
We have that. We have.
You get the Allen key to loosen the screws in the lid.
Okay.
Then you empty the cylinder, but do not clean. Then you fill the cylinder half with water. Then you close the cylinder using the Allen key. Then you shake well, and the remnants of oil will form a dispersion of small drops that act as tracers. And then verify that meniscus is formed, and the PI is reading then to continue.
Okay, we copy everything. That was much easier. Okay, we'll do that for you.
Okay, Wolf, and I will then stand by to support any communication if necessary.
Thank you.
And the crew is now about to conduct a fluid physics experiment outside of the fluid physics module equipment itself.
Master Locke, do you have a video signal?
Beautiful picture, Ulf. We can see you holding the cylinder right in front of us.
Okay, let me ask you one question now. Let me ask Jan Fraber a question. On the bottom plate of the cylinder here, there are three metal pieces. Each of the three has two holes with screws inside, and these are probably the Allen nut here, here, here. But we don't have an Allen key which fits into them because it's the smallest one we got, and it doesn't fit into the keys. Is there any other way to open the cylinder without really ruining it?
Stand by, Wolf, we'll fix it. Wolf, do you read me?
Yeah?
Okay, Wolf, there should be a small Allen key that fits these screws in the container. In the storage container.
In your storage container?
Affirmative.
Okay, we'll take a look for it.
Wolf says 300 ups.
300 ups, go ahead.
Okay, the Allen key is really small. You can even see it. See this key? Very, very small. That's the voice of Jürgen Schuran. He's the manager of the Material Science Double Rack.
Okay, we are trying hard to find it.
Wolf, if I remember right, on the other side. Oh,
Okay? This time we found it.
yes, sir. That's okay.
Here you go. Oh, does it work all right?
Okay, and we got all the pieces dismantled here. Okay, all the metal parts are gone, and now I have to get out the end plate. Is the region?
Yes, I
Mark
copy,
up.
Wolf.
Is there any trick to get out this end plate quickly?
You
can use it with some adhesive tape that you put on the top and you pull it off. Don't push it, but pull it off with a piece of adhesive tape.
Okay, we'll use gray tape. Find out, or use that silver tape, that is. We are trying to put a piece of sticky tape on it and pull it off. Not anymore, I guess.
Space Lab Marshal, no response needed. We got you with real-time TV until 12 hours and 16 minutes. And Bob, an answer on your temp log. We'll have that for you at your call.
Okay. Yeah, I'll worry about that. That's if I open the hatch. I gotta eventually open the hatch and do something to the cell before we go. I'll let you know when that is. Osmo, are you still there?
Loud and clear, off.
How much water do you want to get into it?
About half full. It doesn't matter that much.
Don't worry about that now either. Jan, do you see that?
It looks beautiful, very nice meniscus.
Is that about enough or more?
Add a little bit more, if you will.
A little bit more, okay. Now it's
Looks
how about
very
that?
Looks very nice. Go ahead, yes.
Good, you can also turn it around.
Very good.
Okay, that's what we got here.
Oh, it looks very good, Ulf, and I think you did a wonderful job. It's a very tricky business already on Earth to exchange this liquid, and you performed it without a hitch. It's very good. If you shake it, can you tell me whether you see little oil drops in the water?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do. There are little oil drops inside.
Do they tend to aggregate, or do they remain isolated?
Well, wait a second. Let me shake it a while. Can you change over to the other TV camera? That is TV2, I think.
Okay, yes, then you can get a good look.
Okay, I'll stand by and we'll get that other camera turned on for you.
Oh, do I check that it is almost opaque from the oil?
Yeah, it is a distortion. Go back.
Do you think that the oil can function as tracers?
Do you see it, Jan?
Can you tell whether the oil can function as a tracer material with flows inside?
They float inside. And so far I don't see any coalescence going on.
That's excellent.
At least for a while it will be good.
Very good.
Can you see it?
Yes, I see it very well. And I think it has an almost 90-degree contact angle. Can you verify that?
The contact angle here is, well, on the one side, almost close to 90 degrees.
Yes, how even is the surface? Are there capillary waves on the surface, or have they damped out already?
Say again, Jan?
Do you have a smooth, free surface, or are there some capillary waves on there?
Space Lab Marshal?
It looks smooth. Yeah, go ahead, Marshal.
Yeah, it's a little bit out of focus, Ulf. If you'll pull it back towards you a little bit, we'll have a good shot.
Let me quickly put it on the monitor here.
That's great, thank you.
That's excellent, though. Do you think that the free surface has an equal curvature everywhere?
Wait a minute, Jan. The surface here looks almost like a mirror. It is a clean interface. It is symmetrical around the axis of the cylinder.
Yes,
And we got now also...
could you try to divide the liquid? Put half at one end and the other half at the previous end?
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, we have two parts, but they are not equal. Let me try another time.
Okay.
Space Lab Houston on air to ground 1.
Say them.
Yeah, we have some information in regards to some sow temp measurements. We'd like to tell you that you can delete the sow temp measurements at 7 days, 12 hours, and 30 minutes. We'd like to verify that you did take a set at 7 days, 8 hours, and 30 minutes.
Okay, stand by on that.
Okay, Bob, we're standing by.
7 days, 8 hours, and 30 minutes.
That's affirmed.
Don't see that in the checklist at all here. My main problem, Houston, was no one ever told me what sow temp measurements to take. The only ones that are defined are the general overall ones on the outer shell. And these sow temp measurements that show up from time to time sort of imply you open up the sow and look inside it and take some temp measurements. And no one's ever told me where to take them.
Yeah, we copy that, Bob. There was some confusion down here on all that also. But you're to delete those sow measurements at 12 hours and 30 minutes and only take the measurements on pages 8-7 and 8-8 of the Space Lab Ops checklist.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Now, they somehow call out these measurements, and they never defined where the hell they were. Sorry about that.
And Bob, could you verify once again whether you did or did not take a set of measurements at around 8:30 in the cap when you brought the sow in?
I have never taken a set of measurements inside the sow because no one has ever defined in 6 to 9 months of my requesting it where to take those measurements. The only measurements I've ever taken are the measurements that are on pages 8-5, 6, 7, 8, and so forth. The ops checklist.
We copy that, Bob. Did you take a set at 8+30? Or somewhere around that time. I think the time may have changed slightly.
When we... talking about last night, or yesterday, I guess my last night, your yesterday morning, or this morning, at 7 days, 8 hours, and 30 minutes, which is when I was... that's when I was getting up. I don't know. Hang on. Let me see if Owen took a set. Owen said he did not, and didn't feel that he was ever asked to. As I say, the only measurements that we know anything about taking are those that are in the cabin temp logs. There's no definition of anywhere to take sow temp measurements. Even though the PCAP keeps calling out for it, and we keep asking where, no one ever tells us where. So we've never taken them.
We copy that, Bob. Maybe to clarify this, could you tell me what measurements you recorded on page 8-7 for hot test number 1 temperatures?
Okay, for hot test number number 1 at 7 days, 9 hours, and 10 minutes. We have south inner hatch, which is on the outside of the inner hatch, of 23.0 degrees, and the south shell at the location indicated on page 8-9 of 23.5 degrees.
We copy, Bob. You did what we thought you did, and then the only measurement we show would be the hot test number 2, which will be at about 7 days, 22 hours.
And we'll make those.
Thanks, Bob. Sorry for the confusion.
Ulf?
Go ahead, Ulf.
Is John Taylor still available?
Stand by.
Other question is, do we still have real-time video?
Yes, affirm.
Ulf, do you read me?
Yeah, I do.
Ulf, I would like you to give it a very slight tap so you induce a small oscillation and then let it float free. Okay, and very good, very good.
It wobbles from one side to the other. It's quite amazing. And the interface from the water to the air inside looks like a circular mirror. As you see, it's pretty much symmetrical around the wall of the cylinder, and we have it also split into 2 almost equal volumes here. And if
Space Lab Marshal, we lost the downlink for about a minute, Ulf. Sorry about that, but we've got you back now.
yeah, what I'm doing here is to rotate a little. Wait a minute, you lost the image.
Yes, very good, Ulf.
What that does is it makes the curvature of the spheres a little increases the curvature of the spherical interfaces, and it looks now more like a bowl, the interface. It has a curvature, a positive curvature at the axis, and then another one at the wall of the cylinder, such that the contact angle remains basically unchanged.
Well, that's a very good observation, Ulf. That is the objective, to let it float freely and assume its natural motion, although it may float out of the TV camera. If you describe as you did, it's very good.
Let me try to show it another time. The problem I have here is to keep it in focus of the camera.
I understand.
The eye is an amazing machine. It follows automatically. You see the depth the CDT axis 01 message.
We see it, Bob.
Like that.
It would be very good if you could get it moving in view of the camera.
You see now how
Very good. That's an instability. Don't touch it.
now it separates again. We have now again 2 almost equal volumes on both sides of the cylinder, and it spins around the axis of the largest inertia.
Yes.
That's the old experiment which John Garrett did already 10 years ago.
Yes, I know. It's still in field of view.
Space Lab Marshal, 1 minute till LOS. We'll see you again through Hawaii at 42, and it sure has been a good show.
Okay, we'll keep that cylinder out here. Maybe we can come back to it. Otherwise, I request some advice what to do now.
Okay,
Let me quickly show you. Let me quickly show you a high RPM number.
Spacelab Marshall AV2, AV2.
Okay.
And this is Marshall, Spacelab operations at 7 days, 12 hours, 17 minutes mission elapsed time. And we've temporarily lost the communication signal with the Spacelab. We'll be picking up the Tetra satellite again in about 41 minutes, but we will have communication in less time than that, about 24 minutes or so, when we pass through the ground station in Hawaii. During this acquisition of signal, Wolf Merbold worked with Dr. Jan Freeberg, who is principal investigator of Experiment 330, a fluid physics experiment using the fluid physics module. However, in this case, the experiment was conducted outside of the fluid physics module. Dr. Freeberg asked Wolf Merbold to take a small canister and fill it partially with oil and then halfway with water, seal it, and then move it about different ways. And the oil and the water mixed and then divided. Water was separated at either end of the canister, as was shown on live downlink television. We are told this is due to the difference in surface tensions and the nature of the surface tensions of the two products of oil and water. Dr. Freeberg's fluid physics module experiment, by the way, is the only experiment of the fluid physics experiments to use its own sealed fluid containers in varying degrees of volumes. The reason that Dr. Freeberg is using these containers rather than employing the normal method of running liquid through the discs that are located inside the fluid physics module is that he's trying to understand the behavior of fluids in storage containers. About 23 minutes remaining now until we have that ground station pass over Hawaii. 7 days, 12 hours, 19 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Marshall Spacelab operations.
This is Mission Control Houston. Everything kind of quiet on the flight deck of Columbia during that pass. There was an acquisition of signal over Botswana. John Young from the flight deck had been doing some low light level TV video recording and mentioned to the ground that even though the orbiter is in daylight, that it's still possible to select stars visually, and there's a very good chance that be able to acquire IMU alignments with high confidence, even when the orbiter is in a fairly constant daylight situation. The next orbiter acquisition of signals in about 36 minutes. And then the next orbiter AOS will be in about 19 minutes to the UHF facilities at Hawaii. Mission elapsed time 7 days, 12 hours, 23 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston.
Spacelab Marshall Ops through Hawaii for 5 minutes.
Mark Wolf, we are still playing with the unstable cylinder here.
Okay, Ulf, and we'd like to bring up some video if you guys approve that, just to watch in the module through this Hawaii pass.
Okay, please do that. Then I switch the recorder off, so I have now 46 minutes left on recorder 2.
Copy that. In Space Lab, we have some information on the replanning for hour 13 when you're ready to copy.
Okay.
I'm on my way down.
Go ahead.
Okay, for hour 13, beginning at 1300 hours, we'd like you to do experiment 28028. Subject is payload specialist, and you can do that until 13 plus 27. Correction, 13 plus 33.
Okay.
At 13 hours and 10 minutes, Wolf, you should need, or at 13 hours and 10 minutes, it will be time to do a resume on the mirror heating furnace for the inspection phase.
But I understand that that will interfere with the 28. Muzzle up.
Yeah, stand by. Wolf will get in that for you. Receiving live downlink again now from the module as we pass over Hawaii. Space Lab Marshal, Wolf, all you need to do is the resume MHF enter and verify that it starts. You can do the inspection later.
Okay, I mean, the outside inspection, I can do that now if 300 people agree on that.
No, negative. Don't do it yet.
Okay? I'm standing by. So that will be 3 and 10. 13 10.
That's affirmed. And then the remainder of that hour for you, off beginning at 13 hours, 35 minutes, as per the PCAP on board, as experiment 101 with the Peacock.
Okay. Very good.
We're about a minute and a half from LOS. We'll see you again through Tetris at 13 hours, and we'll be looking for some video a little bit later on. We'll give you some more instructions on that later.
Okay, how much time can I still use for this flavor container? I used about 10 minutes now.
Yeah, you've got 20 more minutes left on the recorder, Ulf.
Okay, I got 46 minutes from the recorder, and I think I'm done with 10 more minutes.
That's fine. Thank you very much.
In fact, I'm sure they're aware of it, but sometime the 201 folks are going to tell us what we're going to do to 201 today.
That's a firm, Bob, and Wibbo's working that. This is Marshall Space Lab operations at 7 days, 12 hours, 50 minutes, mission elapsed time. We have approximately 9 minutes before we regain communication with the Space Lab through the Tetris satellite. We had a brief pass over Hawaii. For that 4 minutes we saw the crew working in the module, and some payload crew activity plans were voiced up to them by the CIC, Chuck Lewis, who informed them that in the next hour, beginning at the 13-hour point of this day, they were to begin experiment 028. That's experiment 28. The ballistocardiography, which is done in 3-dimensional mode. Wolf Marble will be the subject of that experiment. And after that will be Wolf Marble working with experiment 101, which Wolf is required to examine some plants and to move them from the left rotor to a dark box for further study in infrared. While those instructions were being voiced up to Wolfmere Bolt, the acronym PCOC came up. That's the PCOC, the Plant Carry-On Container, which is used in the 101 helianthus experiment. Occasionally, the acronym is used in conversation about experiment 101. The acronym HEFLEX is sometimes heard. That stands for HEFLEX, for helianthus flight experiment. HEFLEX for short. About 7 minutes remaining before you reacquire communications with Space Lab. It's 7 days, 12 hours, 52 minutes. This is Marshall Space Lab operations. This is Marshall Space Lab operations. We have about a minute and a half remaining before we reacquire communications with Space Lab to the tracking and data relay satellite. And when we return, the crew is scheduled to begin experiment 28, which is the ballistocardiography experiment. That's one of the life sciences experiments. Wolfmere Bolt will be the subject for that experiment, and he'll be wearing that backpack that's fitted with those various accelerometers. 3 of them, in fact, located in a small disc that's on his back, attached to the harness that he's wearing. Those 3 accelerometers give readings in all 3 axes, and therefore give a 3-dimensional ballisticardiogram in zero gravity. 3-dimensional recordings like that are very difficult on Earth because of the influence of gravity. Wolfmere Bolt will perform a series of breathing exercises and physical exercises using a bungee cord that he'll pull up and down on to exercise his arms and his respiratory system. After which he will be told to remain stationary for several seconds. He will free float in the module while readings are taken by Bob Parker. Wolf will have a miniature tape recorder recording these some of these motions and respiratory movements and so forth. Some of this data will be recorded on that tape recorder. That recorder is strapped to his right leg. We've entered the AOS period now, and we're waiting for the CIC to call up to the Space Lab.
Space Lab, Marshall, AOS for 51 minutes.
Hey, we're with you. We're just setting up 28.
It's great. Be advised, Bob, we've been talking with the 28 PIs down here, and they think you guys have been so quick on doing 28 that if you have no objection, they'd love to have it on both subjects if you could. There seems to be plenty of time.
Hey, we got a route skipped 11, Houston. We've had a couple of routes skip 20 just after we went over the hill, and we had a 1 route skip 20, and we did a hop to it and got a second one, so we left it alone.
We're looking at them. We'll take care of them down here, Bob. Also, Bob, we're set up for real-time TV here. We'd like to get an overall shot of you on your cue.
Okay, I think, was that 2? I think 2 is still set up where it was. I think it's still on even.
Space Lab Marshall, we're working on the route skip 21 messages down here, and relative to the real-time TV, that was a miscue on our part. we're flowing high rate data at this point, but you can put it on AB too if you'd like.
21 bananas.
Looks like we're causing those down here, Bob. And we're causing the timeline error messages also, Bob.
Again, Jack.
Say again?
You said something funny.
No. Space Lab Marshal for Ulf. Now is a good time for the resume MHF enter. Well done.
This is Marshall Space Lab Operations, and once again we are attempting to reconfigure for live television from the Space Lab as the crew carries out Experiment 28 to the ballistocardiography. For a few minutes, we expected to get some television. That had to be postponed because there was some high data rate coming down. And when data is being received at the high rate, it conflicts with downlink and television, and we have to wait till that high rate is completed. We are told it is completed. We are now trying to reconfigure for live TV. About 36 minutes remaining in this ALS period, and the crew is still working Experiment 28, the ballistocardiography. We're still hoping to get some live television. The Field of Operations Control Center, however, is still checking to make sure that the CPAC and API experiments will not be affected if we switch to low data rate. Which is the rate used for television. Also, a few minutes ago, the crew was scheduled to have inspected that sample in the mirror heating facility, that sample for Experiment 321. If the sample looked fine, then they were to hit the resume function of the mirror heating facility so that that experiment could continue on.
What?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
If we are able to receive live downlink TV during this ballistocardiography experiment, it's expected that Dr. Felix Strollo, co-investigator of that experiment, will be voice-enabled to speak with the crew while they work with the procedures.
Space Lab Marshal, we've finished our high rate dump and can flow TV if you guys think it's a good idea.
go ahead with that. We are on with 28 for two of us. We did it on me and on Bob.
That's good news.
And Ulf Mirbold confirming both subjects, Ulf Mirbold and Bob Parker, have finished the ballistocardiography. We now have live downlink.
It's a nice layout.
In the foreground is Owen Garrett from the Blue Shift, who is apparently just cleaning up.
I guess that finishes that. Okay, Chuck, we are on with that. I'd like to get ahead and do a 101.
We concur.
Okay, we have to pick up the peacock here.
That's the plant carry-on container, the Peacock. boat is readying to do experiment 101, the helianthus annulus nutation experiment.
Space Lab for Ulf, if you get a second, Ulf, we'd love to have you tilt the camera around so it looks more in the direction of the Life Sciences rack. Space Lab Marshall, we're getting real good video down here, and be advised we may be switching over to the payload bay cameras in a few minutes.
About 13 minutes remaining in this acquisition of signal period, and the crew is continuing to work with setting up the experiment 101, the helianthus annulus experiment.
Space Lab Marshall Ops, we're about 4 minutes from LOS. We'd like about 2 of those before we go over the hill to talk with you a little bit about the next hour, which will include some air heating furnace activity for Ulf.
Say again, Houston to Columbia. Marshall up.
Go ahead, Ulf.
I'm finishing 101, but I have to grade tape a little bit these modules because the foam inserts in the decock are made such that the whole stuff floats out again and again.
Okay, we copy that. You've got until 14:30, Ulf, on that if you need it.
I won't need it. I'll be done in 5-6 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. Be advised that you can. We've got you for 321 beginning at 14:30, and we'll be configured for real-time video.
Great. Are we still on real time now?
We're looking on the payload bay camera right now.
Okay.
Space Lab Marshall, the 101 team offers their congratulations and thanks for all the good work you've done on their experiment.
Well, I must say, the plan selection wasn't always very easy because for some reason they didn't really grow as nicely as they do it. They're somewhere really crooked and strange, but I tried to find the best ones.
Copy that, and anytime you get a flashing up slice, you can do an MHF resume.
Okay, thank you.
And you'd be ready for adjustment then.
Yeah.
And we'll be ready for a nice shot of the liquid zone on the next pass. We'll probably have coverage starting at 14 plus 35.
This is Mission Control, Houston. Loss of signal through the tracking satellite a minute or so ago. Next acquisition through the satellite in 41 minutes. Hour and a half away from orbiter contact through a UHF station at Ascension Island on the next orbit. The change of shift press conference with outgoing flight director Dr. John Cox will begin at approximately 12 midnight Central Standard Time in the JSC newsroom. At 7 days, 13 hours, 54 minutes, Mission Control, Houston.
This is Marshall, Space Lab Operations at 7 days, 13 hours, 58 minutes, mission elapsed time. And we received some live downlink from the Space Lab as the crew is working working with the 101, the helianthus annulus experiment. We saw some shots of Wolf Mirabel carrying in the plant carry-on container, the Peacock. That is the storage container with which plants are brought back to Earth at the end of the mission when Wolf Mirabel is finished working with those plants during the experiment time for a particular day. We have about 35 minutes before we regain acquisition of signal with the teeters. At 7 days, 13 hours, 59 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Marshall, Space Lab Operation.
Well, y'all remember John Cox, and he's going to tell us all about his flight now, and John, it's yours. Thanks, John. We again had another pretty quiet shift. We finished up the hot test attitude, which had been started on the previous shift, and then went down to a cool down attitude. And in a few hours now, the vehicle will be rolled back over to a -C solar, which is something like a hot attitude, but it's for science reasons, and the attitude's a little bit different. The crew reported again during the hot test and during the cool down some more of that popping and banging. We're beginning to think most all that's thermally related, and we even think we may be seeing some of those vehicle motions may be, there's a theory that may be explainable that way. We had a successful hot fire test today. We've terminated SAL ops. We've finished all the activity in that area. The temperature surveys were all taken during all those different test attitudes. The one-day mission extension, the timeline work for that activity looks like it's shaping up pretty good now. If you happen to have a cap, it basically fills in between 8 days and 10 hours and 9 days and 10 hours. You just kind of put a discontinuity there and insert 24 hours. There's a few other little adjustments going into and coming out of that kind of reflect just normal cap type changes. There will be a few STS Space Lab type of tests also worked in there. The crew will be scheduled at about 50% of the time during the shift, so we give them some free time to get up into this is the MS and PS schedule, so they can get up to the front and take some pictures. The attitude maneuvers will be similar to what we've been doing because there will be several unattended experiments running while they're operating. With that, I think I'll just turn it over for questions. Benedict?
And ask what experiments are you planning in that 50% of the time? You say 50% of the time would be leisure and 50% of the time would be experiments. What experiments
Yeah,
I can emphasize, do you know?
You know, you have to get the details of what's running unattended and whatnot from the science folks. The things that are showing up on the timeline are the materials, things that have had trouble running. We'll make up some ground in there, hopefully, and I've seen some timelines that had CPAC, AEPI type of things, and there's some life science investigations that are being worked in, but most of that is in large blocks, and FOs in particular, or particular experiments, are all being worked by the POC, and those details will be sent up when the cap update is normally transmitted for those shifts. Just before you start the shift, you get this cap update to work with, and we're not there yet.
I know the crew asked to be able to take more pictures. Have they picked any of the targets yet, and will they try to use up all the metric film that they've got left?
I suspect the crew had asked for some time to take some pictures of Europe and some along the East Coast. I think Byron was looking for some shots of MIT, and Ulf is probably looking for some European shots. So I suspect we'll work out something. There was some work going on to try to get some ZLV attitude time and give them a chance to expose a few frames.
Anything further on the weather out in Edwards?
No, other than the fact it's from the shift I had and the weather briefing we had, still a little bit close to call. The front that is coming through is scheduled to be in sometime Wednesday. Can't tell whether that'll be good for landing conditions or not, whether we'll get in before it or not if you take the Wednesday opportunity. If you don't take the Wednesday opportunity, it looks like it'll probably be clearing up Thursday. Maybe you could land Thursday, but you don't know whether lake beds are wet from what went through on Wednesday. So the folks are trying to evaluate the precipitation that may be in that front. They'll be watching it as it walks right on up.
Hopefully, I think we're targeting for a decision early tomorrow sometime to tell the crew to go into the extra day time or not. And I suspect what time? Really, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, something like that, or 10 o'clock. I think we eyeballed as far as the crew activity plan is concerned. It is convenient for the crew to know by 10 o'clock tomorrow. I think as you're aware, we can take advantages of the orbit times anytime, and it's just a matter of how you have to adjust the activities to accommodate it. But that would be the most orderly way of doing things, where you could actually insert the new day and have no impacts, and crew has plenty of time to review everything. Did they see any problem landing on the regular on the concrete runway with all that weight coming back? No, we prefer the lake beds if they're available, but as far as the priority table goes, we keep going into Edwards and keep on working towards even to the concrete before we would pick another landing site. So basically what we're looking is, can you get into Edwards? Like sounds all right. The last shot it was, yes. Okay. John, can you elucidate on that comment you made about the popping, the banging, etc.? What caused it? Has it happened on previous flights? And is it structural in nature, or do you know yet? Could you give me the name of the plane? I'm Mike Alabar with UPI Radio. Okay. There's no. I mean, what you're listening to is some of my pet theory on it. We've just been kicking around trying to guess. The popping and banging is accentuated in the thermal test attitudes. When we went to the, the cold test attitude, we heard some of the popping and banging. In the hot test attitude today, the crew called down to the hood, lots of it. They said, boy, you ought to really hear this. Just popping and banging all over. Just a little bit ago now, we've been out of the hot test and we went to a cool attitude again, so there's a large thermal transit going through the vehicle now. And John reported loud popping and banging in the tunnel and some vehicle oscillation that went with it. We're just all scratching our heads. If you know the way the orbiter is built, a pressurized module actually floats up in the front cabin area. You have this pressure vessel up there, and then you have the vehicle built around it. We have never hooked anything directly to that pressure vessel, and on this flight we have that tunnel and Space Lab are all hooked with truss work to the vehicle, and they're also bolted right up to the airlock on the back end of the bulkhead of the orbiter, so you're hooked in with all that structure that runs the whole bay length right up to the pressure vessel. So it may be normal vehicle distortions that go on, and we know that we get these vehicle distortions. We found those during the OFT program when we had trouble closing the doors and whatnot. That was all a result of the small vehicle distortions. Well, we are now being able to possibly reflect those right into some effects of that into the cabin because we're hooked up that way. That's a guess. Is it a matter, though, of structural concern? No. Okay, there. Anyone have anything further? Doug Miller in the back, KTRH. John, can you give us a breakdown once again? What's it looking like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? And can you elucidate a little bit on the question of whether weather would on Friday would affect a possible Thursday landing? Do you need that extra day there as sort of a pad? That's what we're headed for. If we go for the 10-day mission, we make the decision to do that. We would like to have a good weather predicted. Again, you can't guarantee it when you get there, but we'd like to have forecast good conditions on a nominal day plus 1 day. And so that's how your Friday gets in. If we decide that we would like to go for the extension day, it would say that we'd like the nominal end of mission conditions, the new nominal day, plus we'd like to have 1 extra day. Now, whether or not that means you have to have runway 17 at Edwards or something like that on both days or not, we'll still have to evaluate that. We want a good landing opportunity on both days. And so a storm coming through on Friday wouldn't necessarily eliminate the possibility of a Thursday landing. This is just something you'd like to have, is that correct? I don't think it would eliminate the possibility, but we'd sure look hard at it. That's something else about. And once again, when is this storm, I know it's a little bit early to call you on the forecast, but from what you've heard, when is this front expected to come through on Wednesday? Would it be, about 2 hours after landing, the possible landing time? What? Well, that's where all the guesswork is going in right now. The last guesswork I heard was we might sneak in before it, and then they come in a few hours later. But then you also had to play the game where you may have some fairly high winds. as you're jumping in front of it too. So we'll get another couple sets of data in before we make that decision tomorrow, and forecasters will have a fund a whole lot closer to you, and you can get an idea of what you really are dealing with. It's kind of, how all the problems we had predicting the one for launch. We chased that thing right on down, and this one is showing some trends that it's drying out. It may be a lot drier, may not have as much moisture in it. If these trends continue, you make out all right. But you just have to keep watching them. Mike Ray, isn't it, from Reuters? Michael Ray from Reuters. Is there any visible response to the political support, apparent political support of President Reagan and Chancellor Kohl via the program this morning? The fact that they're there and they're saying they're behind you, and there may be implications for the future. Is there any reaction to that where you work? Well, I think we were all very elated. There was a very happy control center today, and we all hope that we can do a whole lot more good things with the Europeans. Nobody's out making any announcements yet, I think, but we'd sure like to see some good things happen. Anyone have anything further? We have nothing from the other centers, so if there's nothing here from Houston, that ends your day, John. Thank you all very much.
This is Marshall, Space Lab operations at 7 days, 14 hours, 33 minutes mission elapsed time. We're just slightly less than 2 minutes away from reacquiring communications with the Space Lab through the TDRS. And our next television will be live downlink of the mirror heating facility, coming at that mission elapsed time of the 7-day, 14-hour, 35-minute point. That works out to about 12:35 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's about 2 minutes from now. That particular experiment that will be worked with in the mirror heating facility will be experiment 321, the floating zone growth of silicon. Dr. Hakeem Meyer is the principal investigator of experiment 321. During the blue shift, he was voice enabled to speak with the crew. There's a possibility that he'll be voice enabled on this run. And we're standing by now for re-establishment of communications with the Space Lab. Space Lab Marshall Ops through TDRS for 50 minutes.
Roger that. Marshall, go ahead.
Yeah, I wonder how you guys are doing, and we're ready to flow video on your cue.
Okay, we have the video already set up. But we do not have the offline setting.
Copy. Now receiving live downlink from the Space Lab. Space Lab Marshall, all of the data on the ground looks good. You should have a flashing ops light before too long, and if you've got a minute, we'd sure appreciate if you'd take the camera that we're looking at you on through now and pan it left just slightly. That's TVC1. Space Lab Marshall, that's a fine shot with the camera off, and it looks like you'll be another 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes on the ops light.
CC, we got a ISO message, the depth 05. We also got a task management 00 message about 2 minutes ago.
We see him. We caused the task management. We're checking on the depth 05, Bob.
And sometimes you guys are going to talk about 201, right?
That's firm. Yeah, the depth 05 message, Bob, was called by ISO. It's running now.
We can associate those two by now. We get when we look over at the panel and see the depth that ISO's running, we say, okay, that explains that.
Roger.
One thing you might mention to the 201 guys, which is a little bit late, we admit, we forgot to make a point of it 2 days ago when we did this, was that the subjective vertical test that they did was just, as far as we could tell, the two of us, just made no sense whatsoever in 0G, and we didn't know really what to do with that test at all, since there is essentially, with eyes closed like that and rotated at some arbitrary angle, no real sense of where down is.
Okay, we'll pass that on.
They might have some better instructions, or they might have a different idea of how to use the time.
We copy that, Bob, and you can ignore a 21 pointing fail message when it occurs shortly.
We're now looking
We were looking
inside.
forward to watching 21 change all its radiometer states and all that sort of stuff.
We're now looking inside the mirror heating facility.
And 421, Bob, be advised that if they have a problem with that during this upcoming run, they're going to be running it from the ground.
Yeah, I understand they're running, but it's just we were hoping to be able to use the ECAS to look and see how things are going.
Copy that. Yes.
Yeah, evet.
Hey, Marshal, pick up the outside here.
Roger. We have good video if we see the filament in the picture.
Hello, can you hear me? This is Achim speaking. PI 321.
Ja, servus, Achim.
Sag Ulf, wie geht's dir im
Grüß dich.
Space?
Gut, hervorragend.
Wir haben schon mal ein ganz ausgezeichnetes Bild ein Videobild.
Okay, ich bin fertig für dich. Komm los, Gerd.
Okay, let's start. There's no melting so far, is that right?
Hey, das ist alles okay, ja. Everything is fine.
Wolf, did you see the excellent job that Byron did a few hours ago?
Yeah, I was also here when he did his crystal. I looked over his shoulder. I will show you his crystal. Okay, let me display that one data out here.
Dr. Achim Meyer, PI of 321, is now voice enabled to speaker vulnerable. Dr. Ayers with the University of Freiburg in West Germany.
Okay, so the land voltage is 056130, is that right?
Break. Columbia, Houston. Break. Columbia, Houston. Roger, John, we want you to stop what you're doing on the alignment right now.
Okay, why?
Okay, yeah, John, I'll give you an answer in a minute, but we want you to do not execute the item 16.
Okay, you just caught me in time because I was just to hit the execute button.
Roger that, and stand by, I'll get you an answer, an explanation.
Do you you want me to go to the next altitude, over?
Just stand by, John.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Ist das gut genug für dich?
In the moment, the picture is not very clear, but I think it's enough.
Okay, lass mich nochmal probieren.
Where's your 300 ups?
Okay?
Don't move the camera. Leave it like the camera is at this time.
Okay.
That instruction not to move the camera came from Jürgen Schuran, ESA manager of the Material Science Double Rack. Break. Columbia, Houston. On the IMU line.
Go ahead, over.
Roger, John. The problem was that you tried to do the align before the IMUs were selected, but we are happy with what you're doing right now, so go ahead and continue.
Hey, I know that. I went back and reselected them. I was going to do the alignment.
Roger, John. And Columbia, Houston, you are go to torque the IMUs.
Ja, ich kann dich hören.
Okay, ich gehe ganz vorsichtig mit dem Potentiometer langsam auf. Slowly increasing the pot setting.
Yes, well, to remember what wiring it was very dangerous. So the sound was too high in the beginning. It should not exceed 1.5 times diameter.
Okay. Potentiometer reads now 3.7 and the display data is 1102.40. I read you only the first 3 digits.
How about the contamination of the surface? Is it like on Earth, like in all our experiments we did so far?
Yeah, very similar to that. Like that. I think it's getting shinier at the surface. And I would say it's a little less than the diameter.
Yes, I agree. You need it a bit more.
And it is now 11:06 at the central console. So that brings us up to 390 potentiometer. And the display data is 1116. Okay, that is potentiometer 4.1.
But it's still too low, the sound.
Yeah. Becomes 4.3. Okay, now it's through. See what it did?
The height is still too low.
Still to down? I would think it is about 1.5 times the length. Okay, if you advise it to go higher, I'll do that.
Yes, you should go higher, but that's more.
Okay, that's 440.
Go ahead.
And central console is 1145. Okay, now it's definitely pretty long.
That's okay. It's long enough now. I agree. So I think we could start with a resume. Did you check by hand the
Yeah, I go a little. No, I have not hit the resume now. Not yet. And I do it right now. I go for it.
Did you check by hand that the rotation is free?
Oh, yeah, I tried that. It rotates.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that was the resume. Here it goes. Starts to rotate.
Hello, Wolf. You should turn the power down. It
Yeah.
seems to be too high. Make sure
Okay,
that
390.
the growing crystal has an increasing diameter.
Okay. Okay, we are down at 1116.
On my picture, increasing as far as I can see.
Stroke. Ahin.
Yes, I've seen. It's molten through, yeah?
That was too much power, boy. Okay, I give the hold MHF 31. Is that okay?
That's positive.
And the silicon sample has broken.
Hello, Wolf, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Well, it's really a pity that it's molten through. It looked quite good as far as I could see.
Say again?
Well, it's really a pity that it's molten through, because it looked so good as far as I could see on my screen here.
Yeah, I think the problem is that the surface tension wants to form a contact angle of, I don't know, 11 or how many degrees, and that takes a little liquid away from the molten zone, and there's a tendency for the zone to become smaller for that reason. And the only way to avoid that is to keep the power really low, make the zone short. I don't know.
Yes, that's why I told you to turn the power down, but it looked not yet there.
Yeah, that's what I did. Okay, well,
Yes, you
maybe
did.
get another 10. But be advised, I turned it down as instructed. But I thought we started already with the zone too long.
Hello, Wolf, can you still hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I want to thank you very much for this experiment run, even if it was very short. I thank you much, and I wish you a very good way back home.
Hey, Achim?
Go ahead, Wolf.
Marshal Ops, this is Space Lab.
Spacelab Marshal for Ulf.
Go ahead.
Ulf, you can go ahead and start MHF at this time, but do not open the door.
Okay.
And also, if you have just a moment, could you come back to this camera and pan it left so it's looking straight down the module?
stand by. Okay, that was the start, MHF. Parcel off.
Loud and clear off.
Okay, what can I do for you?
Well, we've temporarily lost the TV off, but what we were asking is if you could move the camera until it points right down the middle of the module.
Oh, sure. Space Lab, Houston, with a note on the cell. To go.
Roger, Bob, we're registering here about a 0.6 delta P in the cell between the inside and the outside, and that is between the cell module and the Space Lab module. And we'd like you to take the cell vent valve to equalize at your convenience until the pressure goes back to zero. The delta P goes back to zero, and then go back to close.
Okay, my airlock pressure is showing, did you say 0.6 or 0.06?
That's a 0.6. What we're reading is inside of the cell is 14.2, and in the module is 14.8.
Okay, I'll go equalize and we'll see what it does.
Okay, at your convenience.
Okay, I just went to equalize and I can hear some air coming into it. It may have just cooled down, I trust. Been watching the trend on it?
It could have been a temperature related problem like you mentioned, so it looks okay now.
I'm going back to close, we'll take it and then we can take another look at it. I assume that's what you want, right?
Roger, Bob, you can go to close now.
And sometime I assume we're going to do a deactivation on the cell. I didn't see it on either my flight plan or Owen's flight plan.
Okay, well let me find out about that. And Space Lab Houston, that cell deact will be part of the Space Lab deactivation.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that, thank you. Got that in the sim too.
Wolfmer Bolt has placed the mirror heating facility in its cool down operation. It'll take about 45 minutes for that sample to cool, and then it can be removed.
Hello?
Go ahead, Ulf.
Okay, what can we do now?
Well, Ulf, we're...
I think as far as the MHF is concerned, we have to wait until temperature's down.
That's firm. And we'll have some instructions for you, which we're working up right now, before too long.
Okay. Hey, listen, let me ask you, is there a little tape on the recorder left to film the area of a water drop?
Stand by. Space Lab Marshal for Ulf, you can use 15 minutes, 20 minutes actually on AV2.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Bob, let me ask you, that A3 step, that is optokinetics, is going to be replaced by what they call luminous line experiment. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, and we were a little late in getting back to you about that the other day, but this is basically that subjective vertical thing we did the other day, right?
Exactly, yes. Yeah, you get a new procedure.
And our comments to that were that when you take someone and close his eyes and rotate him to an arbitrary angle here, in 0G, he has no down. And there's just no way of indicating a down. If you tell him he's at 45 degrees, that he can rotate that line at 45 degrees to what he perceives to be his vertical, but to try to establish with respect to the space lab vertical, it's certainly that indirect method, and we didn't think that had any meaning.
Okay, we copied that and try to align it up with what you call your body vertical.
Yes, the other time it was very specifically with respect to the space lab verticals 2 days ago when we did this.
Sure, but if you say you cannot do that, then, it doesn't make sense, isn't it?
That was our feeling, and we were late in getting back to it. But okay, we'll try that today and do it with respect to the ego vertical. Things we were wondering about was, instead of doing the A3, the optokinetic, why we didn't do like a threshold or a linear DOR on me.
Okay, I will ask that question.
That's part of the message.
Yeah, let me ask you another one, Bob. That A3 is where you have your body still and you rotate your head, which gives you a certain canal impulse or sensation through which you probably are influenced if you assess your vertical of your body. There is another proposal which could be done probably a little later, where by some means we keep the head still and move the body such that you only have input from your sensors of your neck, but no vestibular input. You think that would be feasible, and from a scientific point of view, would be very interesting.
How we're going to fix the helmet? You guys have some idea on that?
Well, we start thinking about that. And we go LOS, Bob.
Start thinking about that, right?
And Bob, we will have you back at 15 hours and 41 minutes.
Right.
This is Marshall Space Lab operations at 7 days, 15 hours, 28 minutes mission elapsed time. We have about 13 minutes in this LOS period before we reacquire communications with the Space Lab over the Guam tracking station. During this ALS period that we just went out of, Wolf Marable was working with the mirror heating facility, specifically experiment 321. He had inserted a silicon rod sample and was attempting to create a floating zone. However, the sample broke, and Wolf Marable has placed the mirror heating facility into its cooling mode. Once the sample has cooled, which will be approximately half an hour from now, it can be removed, and some decision will be made at that time whether or not to reinsert another sample. Coming up shortly with the crew is the beginning of experiment 201. That's one of the vestibular experiments. It is among the life sciences experiments, and it's entitled The Effects of Rectilinear Accelerations, Optokinetic and Caloric Stimulations in Space. It's investigating the vestibular functions of the inner ear, particularly the autolobe organs. The exchange between Bob Parker and Fubo Akos, the alternate payload specialist, was in regard to the several functional objectives of this experiment 201, which calls for the subject to have the helmet on, the special helmet with the two devices, one of which goes, the two eye devices, one of which goes over the left eye and is basically a monitor which shows images which the left eye observes. The other being a camera over the right eye which records the right eye's movements. The discussion between Bob Parker and Boo Wackles concerned the videotape player. That videotape player became non-functional several days ago, very early in the mission, and that tape player provides various patterns to that left eye monitor in the helmet, so that various vestibular experiments can be performed as the subject receives these patterns and then tries to orient himself while he receives the input of those patterns. However, with the videotape player in an inoperative condition, those functional objectives which rely upon the videotape player cannot be performed. And Bob Parker was asking the Payload Operations Control Center the exact nature of the sub-experiments that would be carried out toward the end of this hour and throughout the next, which is the scheduled time for the unstowing and setup and for the carrying out of Experiment 201. The optokinetic portion of that experiment, specifically optokinetic while seated, that portion of the experiment is going to be replaced because that is one portion of 201 that relies upon the videotape player in supplying patterns to the subject. Further procedures will continue to be voiced up to the payload crew as we reacquire communications. We'll have communications back again in a little more than 8 minutes. At 7 days, 15 hours, 33 minutes, mission elapsed time. This is Marshall Space Lab Operations.
And Space Lab, Marshall Ops, we're with you through Guam for about 8 minutes.
Go ahead. Yeah, CC, you guys
Get the teleprompter message up.
Say again, Bob, you were broken, over.
Teleprompter message on the way up.
Yes, we have a message on the way up, and it should arrive any moment. What it gives you a substitute for the procedure for Alpha 3, and it gives you some remarks for the FO2B run. Over.
Right.
And also, Bob, now we have you here, I will give you an idea about the changes with respect to the procedure. The Alpha 4 is changed, the oscillopsia part. I will give you some remarks right on the time when we start that, but that's still about an hour away from now. The Alpha 5 is the same now as the Alpha 4, but then without a helmet, so we have a little more oscillopsia without a helmet. And then later on, we have actually almost no changes, except for the provocative will not take place. There's a little experiment where we want to see your tilt sensation if you move back and forth in the x-acceleration, in the x-axis. Over.
Okay. And you guys have no intention of doing a threshold on me or a linear VOR on me, is that correct?
As far as we figured, we should have on you the threshold, and probably only the linear VOR we don't have. probably, we hope we can still get that in somewhere. Over.
When are you going to do the threshold on me?
Stand by.
Peter?
Yes, go ahead, Wolf.
I think we both feel that the threshold is probably the most interesting thing to do, and so is probably also the calorics. We had that one measurement done on both of us, and the result is a little bit conflicting. Bob didn't get anything, and I did, and it would be probably a good idea to repeat it.
I think we could not agree more. The problem we have here, Wolf, is we have a certain set of time where there are various PIs with their own equipment and requests, and we at the moment don't see no time to implement what you're asking for. If, however, you see the time yourself, then it would be great.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, what we are doing here with this subjective vertical or something like that, that is, to my feelings, to be very honest, a waste of time, because there is no vertical.
Okay, well, stand by break. I think your remark right now is extremely interesting. You say that if you close your eyes, you lose the reference of vertical which you had from the Space Lab. Over, is that correct?
And even with the eyes open, if I do that one, I'm not sure whether you have video. So that becomes immediately the floor of step.
You were broken up, Wolf. Can you repeat that statement again?
Okay, I can walk along the ceiling of Space Lab, and that is the floor then. The floor is not defined anymore. I mean, I can say where my feet are, that is the floor.
Okay, I copy you, Wolf. And then the next question I have is, if you close your eyes, how do you imagine then Space Lab? Over.
I lose the orientation completely with eyes closed.
Would it make, if you close your eyes, does it make any difference to think of Space Lab upside down or the way, let's say, straight up?
No. I think eyes open, eyes closed, in this environment, those words up and down have no meaning anymore. You can say it is, well, Space Lab has a floor because it's built that way, but that doesn't mean that it is down.
Okay, Ulf, we almost LOS. The idea is more the image of Space Lab. If you imagine the image of Space Lab, whether you can put it in either orientation. Over.
Well, with eyes closed, I lose any reference, even to the image of Space Lab.
Columbia, Houston on air to ground 1. Columbia, Houston, air to ground 1.
Go ahead, Houston.
Roger, John, we're just talking to you through Santiago. We're having trouble locking up on TDRS, but we should be on it in just a minute. We just wanted to let you know.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
Yeah, I took so
correction
so
to
long,
that.
I was down getting lunch.
Okay, John, I got a correction to that. We're having problems on TDRS. We may not get it, so we just wanted to let you know of that. And in addition to that, the onboard systems look good.
Yeah, I've been watching them. They sure do look good. This thing is really super. It's beautiful. Again, son?
And Space Lab, this is Marshall Ops for Ulf and Bob. No reply necessary. We have a problem with downlink of AMIR, which should not change the plan. Just continue with the luminous line and so on. It could be that we want to not do the oscillopsia, but then do the linear threshold on Bob. Over.
Okay, copy that. But we are all set for oscillopsia, and you are saying now that you don't want to do that now.
You were already ready for oscillopsia?
Yeah, that's what we had in mind to start with.
Okay, Ulf.
Maybe it's a mistake.
No, that's fine. But we like you to do the threshold instead.
Okay.
The standby off. We don't know whether we get data or not. Just stand by for a second.
Just let's do the threshold and make a decision.
Just stand by off. We're checking whether we get EMIR down. Over.
Okay.
And Space Lab, Marshall Ops, be advised, we do have the downlink capability, so we can just continue as originally scheduled with oscillopsia. Over.
Okay. Marshall, we have 19A experiment power status, error message 40.
We'll work it, Ulf. And just for information, the oscillopsia data we got on the ground from the last time were very good. We got some very nice gains of the VOR, which are different from on the ground. Over.
Okay.
Space Lab Marshall, no response necessary. You can ignore the 19A power status. You may get a 13 EPAL power status message. If it occurs, you can ignore that too.
And Space Lab for Ulf. I didn't know whether you got those changed. The oscillopsia, the PI wanted to have it done standing all over. Did you got that one?
Well, I understand you want to do the oscillopsia standing all the time. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's affirmative.
Okay, we'll do that. We have one problem here with the respiration valve. It's pretty chilly in Space Lab. We all have to check it on. It doesn't make really sense to put the respiration valve on.
Yeah, forget about respiration belt and also forget about the BVP, Ulf.
Okay, no PVP. Okay, good enough.
And Ulf, no reply necessary. If you call out the steps, then I can add the 3 steps which are in here real time, and it will make it a little easier. Over.
Okay.
You can ignore that message and that one.
Roger that. Okay. We are ready for the first calibration, and we start with A3. That's with the park.
Roger, we copy.
Okay, give you the cross here. And please center. That is the balance. Now, perform the calibration. Okay, Pop, did you get decent calibration data?
Yes, Wolf, this looks perfect, and you can switch over to mode 3 for Absolopsia.
Okay, and how's the aim in? Is it also acceptable?
Yes, the aimer is good.
Okay, Bob, you remember the instructions. Okay, well, is that the understanding to start with this luminous line here?
Okay, Wolf, yeah, you can just continue with this luminous line.
What do you want? Let us know.
You were just finishing off with the checkout, over, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, yes, then the next is the luminous line, over.
Roger that. Okay. Okay, you close your eyes, please, and, okay, you move the cross away. Okay, and I will then...
Okay, and Wolf will be informed to switch over to mode 01, over.
Okay, now align your target. Okay. Okay. Subject reports the cross is aligned. And the reference is his own body axis.
Yeah, that's affirmative, Wolf.
But is that the correct understanding? I think you meant that we should align it in reference to the spaceship coordinates, but that is hopeless. It's impossible.
Well, that's why we said to change that, Wolf. We would like to discuss this aspect a little later to more detail, but for the time being, align with your own body feeling of what is down. Over.
Okay, Bob. Next shot. Okay, when Bob flips the joystick, that means that is the alignment.
We copy.
Okay, and... Loud and clear, Houston. Line, please. Okay. Go ahead. Okay, that's complete.
And Space Lab Wolf, no reply necessary. You can, whenever you're ready, continue with your oscillopsia.
Yeah, Houston, I can do that. You're broken up there, Houston. Say again. Okay, understand. I know that from the last time we did it. Okay, we go into oscillopsia, yeah.
You copy that, Wolf?
Up, COC, I don't think I'll go ahead. Okay, Houston, that's what I've been doing, comparing them, and they look pretty good.
And Space Lab Wolf, be advised to go to mode 03, please.
Okay. Okay, you want us to do another calibration, I guess?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Houston, that's what I've been doing. I am taking the stuff above or below, but the automatic stops have been comparing very well with the required reading at F8. We've been getting F8 250 right across play where we should. Sender? That's the calibration glass. I don't see why I can't use the other film. There's 250 frames in it and only 30 in the other, and it's taking a lot of time. So every time I get ready to take a picture, the camera runs out.
Left, center, up, center, down, center.
Okay. Looks good to me. Okay, instruction. TOCC?
Yes, Wolf.
Calibration okay?
Yes, it looks good.
Okay, last threshold. Last threshold. Okay, let's get to roll then. Okay, no oscillopsia on roll. Now comes C. Yes, it is. Anything? Nothing. No oscillopsia on C. Marshal ops?
Okay,
PR 201.
yes, Wolf, we have here good data. We have two additional things we would like you to do, or three actually. That is try oscillopsia during pitch motion. And
That's what we are doing now. And pitch eyes closed and your eyes closed. Is that what you want us?
yeah, first with eyes open, Wolf, and then try with eyes closed, over. And during eyes closed...
Okay, we did. We did pitch eyes closed first and then eyes open. Sorry, pitch eyes open first and then eyes closed. And Pop did right now, your eyes closed.
Roger.
And for none of them he had oscillopsia. I mean, with eyes closed you can't see anything.
Okay, we copied.
It's the same for me, only in your eyes open we get oscillopsia.
Copy.
Okay, we are done with that. Except you want us to repeat a thing.
Stand by for a sec here, Wolf. We're running a little late, so why don't we not repeat it and just go from here to the next step, which is the oscillopsia, the same, but then without the helmet, over.
Okay. Will you give us some time to do some more thresholds?
Yes, you have, and Ulf, just bear in with us a little bit. We try to keep you online, and we give you a little changes later on and guide you through this whole thing, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
And Ulf, before taking off the helmet, we need a calibration here.
Okay, you got, wait a minute. Now, stand up.
Center.
Keep the balance.
Center. Right. Center. Left. Center. Up. Center. Down.
Looks good to me. I see there's a cable.
COCC.
Okay, Ulf, that was a good calibration, over.
Was it a good one or not a good one?
It was a good one.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we do another one. We use the cylindrical part and the aft cone as a reference here.
Roger, Ulf, and probably sometime later in the mission you can find a time to take one picture of your position as to find the reference points, over.
Sure. Okay, that was the calibration in respect of the cylindrical part and the aft cone. And we start the oscilloption yaw.
Just wait a minute, Ulf. The up-down part of the calibration was not good yet.
Okay, let's go ahead and do the calibration afterwards.
Sure.
Pressure, please. No oscilloption. Okay, boxing sets about threshold. If you go really vigorously, do you get anything? Okay. Now, try and roll. Now it's up down roll. And barely in yaw. Now comes C, and that is nothing but what we all know. Okay, nothing is in Z, high pitch. Stick to the metronome. Now also up down pitch. Now eyes closed, please, and pitch. Okay, and eyes closed in yaw. Okay, any comments? Okay, keep try another calibration rope. Okay. Okay, please stand up. Balance. Do a calibration. Okay, was that any better, Marshal Ops?
Yes, all of that was good. And now what we like you to do is you could repeat this once more, but in a few minutes or 5 minutes we were going to lose you. Be aware that you have to do a 21 solar pointing confirmation, and then Bob is going to continue to be the subject. So at 17:45, at a break of about half an hour, he will start being the subject for linear threshold and also for linear VOR. Oh, over.
Okay, 17:45, that is almost in an hour from now.
That's correct. And by now, only repeat the part without helmet, just the last part. And be advised that we really get very nice eye movement data here down.
Okay.
And you can ignore those two error messages.
Okay. They want to repeat us the thing without helmet. Without helmet? Yeah. Okay then. Do another calibration. Center. Balance. Center. Center. Okay, we start on yaw. Okay. Stick to the metronome. Go max speed and then go down to threshold if you have some. Okay, now it's the lockdown in yaw. And now let's try roll. Anything like that? Nothing? Okay, then C. Okay, pitch. Eyes closed, pitch.
And Wolf, let Bob concentrate or stare at an imaginary target during this eyes closed motion.
Okay, please imagine a target and stare to it during the eyes closed. Imagine it infinity and stare to it, eyes closed, whatever that means. Okay. By the way, Bubo, we have the MHF lamp flashing, the ops lamp flashing. If I can help it, let me know.
Wolf? Yeah, that will be probably later. We will see you in about also 15 minutes at Guam and can inform you about what to do.
Okay. Did you the eyes closed, Joe? Okay, complete. Give you another calibration.
Center.
Balance.
Center. Right. Center. Left. Center. Up. Center. Down. Center.
Okay.
Good calibration, Wolf. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, Space Lab for Martial Ops, Wolf, we're about 2 minutes from LOS, and we got good data from the oscillopsia. Remind that we don't do the subject change. Bob stays the subject, and we'll get then started on the linear threshold at 17:45. You have
Okay, Roger.
you have a 21 set up at 17:05, and we'll get back to you at about 17:15 through Guam. Over.
Okay, thank you. 17:05, 21, is that?
No, 21 is a little earlier. Wolf is at 17:05. Over.
But it is.
Okay, we start on yaw. Stick to the metronome. Go max speed and then go down to threshold. You can stop. Okay, now it's the lockdown in yaw. And now let's try roll. Anything like nothing. Okay, then D. Okay, pitch. Eyes closed, pitch.
And both let Bob concentrate or stare at an imaginary target during this eyes closed motion.
Okay, please imagine a target and stare at it during the eyes closed. Imagine it infinity and stare at it, eyes closed, whatever that means. Okay. By the way, Bubo, we have the MHF lamp flashing, the auto lamp flashing, if I can help it, let me know.
Yeah, that will be probably later. We will see you in about also 15 minutes at Guam and can inform you about what to do.
Okay. Did you the eyes closed job? Okay, complete. Keep your auto calibration.
Better,
Balance.
better, right, better, left, better, up, better, down, better.
Okay.
Good calibration, off, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, Space Lab for Martial Ops off. We're about 2 minutes from LOS, and we got good data from the oscillopsia. Remind that we don't do the subject change. Bob stays the subject, and we'll get them started on the linear threshold at 1745. You have
Okay,
you have a 21 set up at 1705, and we'll get back to you at about 1715 through Guam. Over.
okay. Thank you. 1705, 21, is that?
No, 21 is a little earlier. Off is at 1705. Over.
But it is XLN 21 at 1705.
Yeah, that's confirmed.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and Space Lab off, still have time to copy. There's also a install and remove of experiment 322, which is going to take place in the same spot here till 1745.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll give you that information at Guam, over.
Just. Bubo, are you still there?
Yes, go ahead.
Can we do the threshold in between already on Bob in order to use the time?
Yes, Ulf, you could, but it could be conflicting with the other activities. But I would say do whatever you think is feasible.
Okay, thank you.
This is Marshall, Space Lab operations at 7 days, 16 hours, 59 minutes mission elapsed time. We have lost communications with the Space Lab, but should be reacquiring it as we pass over the ground station at Aurora Valley. That pass is coming up in about 26 minutes and 40 seconds. And we'll be reacquiring the Tidris in about 40 minutes. During this acquisition of signal, the crew began its 201 experiment, the vestibular experiment. Optokinetic stimulation, however, requires use of the videotape player to provide patterns to the subject as he looks into that left eye monitor. It was instead substituted for what is known as the subjective vertigo, or luminous line experiment, in which the subject tries to line up a target with his body vertigo. by use of a joystick device. The crew is also performing oscillopsia as we went into LOS. Oscillopsia is that perception that sometimes occurs when a person moves his head back and forth and when he's looking at a stationary object. And the stationary object suddenly also appears to be moving. In that portion of the oscillopsia, in that portion of the 201 experiment, rather, the oscillopsia portion, Bob Parker was wearing a helmet and looking at a target in a monitor and moving his head left and right, up and down. And finally, he stood and squatted, stood back up again and squatted, and did this several times. This is the Z-axis portion of his body. All three axes were being tested. All the while he was performing all these movements, he was staring at that target in the monitor. Again, that is a stationary target. It is not, the monitor in this case does not run patterns, does not have patterns being run by the videotape player. Therefore, oscillopsia can be run without the BTP. But in this oscillopsia experiment, the subject, Bob Parker, was looking at the target, moving his head, and performing those squatting and standing movements. All the while being told that if he did perceive oscillopsia, he was to reduce the amplitude. That is to say, the length of travel of his head until he reached the threshold where that perception was no longer seen. Once he reached that threshold, he was to maintain it for 5 seconds. As we said, he did that in all three axes of body movement. And there was another portion added to that, in which the Field of Operations Control Center, the 201 investigation team here in the POCC, asked Bob Parker to also do a pitching movement forward. In addition to testing the three axes of his body movement. He also was asked to perform oscillopsia with the helmet off. This is the portion of the 201 experiment whereby the same oscillopsia body movements are performed, except that with the helmet off, Bob Parker then concentrated on a target at the aft end of the space lab module.